all Friday, and Suafalonga will get us started. He'll kick off. Melbourne running left to right as you look at your radio, and Canterbury defending the southern end of Stadium Australia to get first use of the footy. Let's hope we're in for a good one. Last night, Dolphins beat Canberra 30-22. White Raymond says, let's go. And the kickoff sails down to Matt Burton, 5 metres out from the Canterbury line. He feeds it right to Max King, and he runs into 3 Melbourne defenders and pushed to the ground. 18 out from his own line and 10 in from the western touchline. Lasardi was in there too, along with Mini. Now comes open side right. As Canterbury take it up over their 20-metre line. And Karma plays the ball to Mann. Oh, not a good pass that goes to the right, but it's plucked back to the chest of that Canterbury forward, and now some loose ball, but they end up with it 35 metres out from their own goal line after it went free from Leo Thompson. 12 short of halfway, played to Burton. He sends the ball to the right edge, and Canterbury get to within 7 metres of halfway. Ball played by Salmon to Man. Goes left to Burton for the kick outside his 40. End over end. Will bounce once into Suafalonga's chest. Returns it into the chase. Headed by Preston. 20 metres out from the Melbourne line. No score on the board after the opening minute. It's played to Jerome Hughes. Goes left to Warbrick. Crunched to the ground by Thompson. And 2 other Bulldogs, including Max King. 25 out from the Melbourne goal line. Plays the ball to Tolau. He sends it away left this time. And Moses Leo, the New Zealander, he's shoved back, held as the call, 27 metres out from his own line. Now back he comes, open side right for Melbourne. Cooper Clark, this good young forward, good run, taken 6 short of halfway, centre field, northern end, play to Tolau, goes right to Ituka Manu. He crashes over halfway, stands in the tackle, and he'll play it 3 metres in Canterbury Bankstown's half. On the last, Tolau goes right. Jerome Hughes puts it up to the southwest corner. Carraz underneath it with the catch. 11 out from his own goal line, confronted by the chase, and he's going to be pushed down. 11 out from his own line. A minute 45 gone, Luke Lewis. No score here at Stadium Australia.
No score at the moment, but both sides will be pretty happy just getting through their first set. It is pretty slippery out there watching young Suafalonga, fullback there. He wanted to do a bit of a step, but you could see his footwork was a little bit slippery under feet, but they're just getting to their kicks, and they're going to do a bit of an arm wrestle here for the first 10 minutes, I'm assuming.
Montoya gets straight through Josh King, now taken 28 out from his own line. Man at a dummy half. Runs straight into the markers, and he's going to be claimed. The replacement, Keegan Russell Smith, was in there. Now Sturt from outside his 30, drills the left foot kick, but Falonga beautifully placed. Catches at 17 out from his own line, heads up over the 30, and he's going to be confronted and put to the ground. Sherry was in there with Preston. 34 out from the Melbourne line, 15 in from the western touchline. Hughes goes left to Warbrick, beats 2 tackles, up to near halfway, caught there by Mann and Thompson. He'll play the ball right on the halfway paint to Tolau. He sends the ball away to the left edge as Melbourne work it about 8 metres in Canterbury territory, make it 10. Good strong run by Bloor. Plays it to Tolau. Goes left, Ituka Manu. He bustles into the defence again and caught 29 out from the Canterbury line. No score. Melbourne attack Tolau. Goes right to Josh King. Out the back to Hughes. Dummies, goes himself, but he's going to be caught here. Leo Thompson was involved with 2 others, including Preston. 12 out from the line. Now Josh King sends it left. Ituka Manu puts it on the toe. It comes back towards the Melbourne Storm. They spread it away to the left. Howarth, he got the pass away, beating 1 tackle and going over to score very easily for Melbourne is Moses Leo. Really soft try for Melbourne. 3.5 gone. Melbourne 4, Canterbury Bankstown 0 here at Stadium Australia. The opening try goes to Melbourne left winger Moses Leo. Really out of nothing from 15 metres out, and Leo will claim that very happily after what looked like an errant stab kick from Stefano Ituka Manu, Louis.
Yeah, well, Ituka Manu, he knew exactly what he was doing, wasn't he? He put a nice little kick in, gets a bit of a ricochet, but quick thinking just to get the ball off the ground and flick it out to that left edge. And then House, just a quick pass there to find Moses Leo. But I'll tell you what, he shows some strength. He just gets down, he gets a really nice bump on, and then pulls his leg out of the tackle and slams the ball down. That's a great try. Good patience from Melbourne, but it all started from a really strong carry in the backfield there, and that come off the back of Will Warbrick. If he continues to do that, he'll get the Melbourne Storm on the front foot.
I reckon you may be giving Stefano a bit too much credit by saying he knew exactly what he was doing. Touchline, Johnny Gibbs.
That was a really good pickup also by Josh King, because the ball's on the ground. It's a little bit slippery. There's no rain, but there's plenty of moisture on top of the surface, and that was really good work. Warbrick actually hurt himself a bit when he went into that tackle, Louis. I don't know what they're looking at here, whether there's a player pushed off the ball. I don't think so. Marcelo Montoya had a real opportunity to make a tackle, but they couldn't do so, and Leo, the line's over.
And a bit of rain falling again, Jonty?
Yes, very good observation, Andrew.
Thank you, John. Here's the kick now, coming from Nick Mini. 23 metres out and a metre in from the eastern touchline. Melbourne 4, Canterbury Bankstown 0. NRL Friday here on ABC Sport. Thanks for spending part of your Friday with us. Here's the kick from Mini. He strikes it, heading towards the post. He likes it, he's kicked it. What a great kick from Nick Mini to convert the Moses Leo try. Melbourne 6, Canterbury Bankstown 0. And we've had 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Your text messages are welcome throughout the evening. 0467 920 222. I'm with Jonty. Go the Underdogs. That's from Watty. Love you, Luke. Your highlight reel is next level. Sending love to Jai Arrow and his family after his motor neurone disease in New Zealand. Well-known Super 12s rugby player and All Black trialist Jared Cunningham developed the disease and died in 2007, aged 38. Here's the kickoff, and returning it now for Melbourne is Utoiga Manu, wrapped up 9 out from his own goal line. Also, team, thanks for such a respectful and dignified explanation of Jai Arrow's condition. It's hard to comprehend something so cruel. Thanks for your company and compassion. Oh, Gary, that part is easy, really easy. Here's the Melbourne side with it. 21 metres out from their own goal line with his 6 points to nil lead. There's now Tolau at a dummy half. Game's about 10. Held is the call. 33 out from his own line. 20 in from the eastern touchline. Played. It comes open side right to King. Josh King put to the ground by Max King and 2 others. 9 short of halfway. Salmon was there with Mag. Now it's Jerome Hughes from just outside the 40. Boots it downfield. Perez drifts to his left with the catch. 12 out from his own line. Heads up over the 20 into the chase. Headed by Lasardi, and he's put to the ground with help coming from Meany. 28 out from the Canterbury Bankstown line. Now to dummy half goes Burton. He scored 34 out from his own line for the Bulldogs, trailing 6-0 after only 6 minutes of play. As Canterbury Bankstown, Renakama, he scored 6 short of halfway centre field, played to Kurt Mann, dummies, goes himself, and just gets into Melbourne territory by a couple of metres. He'll play the footy after being tackled there by Tolau, who gives away a set restart, too slow in the play the ball, so the first one of the night goes to Canterbury Bankstown, who on the next play is Max King offloading, through the hands of Mann for Salmon, goes back now to Lockie Galvin, he turns it into Satili Tupanua, and he's tackled 10 metres in Melbourne territory, 20 in from the eastern touchline. Now comes left to Salmon, and he's wrapped up. Josh King over the top, 31 out from the line. Plays the ball to Mann, goes left to Galvin, links up with Burton, short ball to Sherry. Sherry over the 20, drag to the ground, great tackle by Meany. Also in there, Failongo, 14 out from the Melbourne line, 5 in from the western touchline. Play to Renakama, goes right to Burton, back on the inside, the short side to Preston. He went without it, and I tell you what, Failongo picked it up, was going to race 90 to score, but referee White Raymond blows the whistle. It will be a Melbourne scrum feed, 11 out from their own line, 7 minutes gone. Storm 6, Bulldogs 0, Louis.
Oh, that was the right play there by the Bulldogs, but Preston just couldn't pull that ball in. Great vision there by Matty Burton to come back down that left edge, but yeah, Preston just comes up with a little bit of a fumble, and he is lucky there that Hughes does just touch the ball, because Failongo was gone under the sticks at the other end of the field, so
that would have been fun to watch, Louis.
That would have been great to watch. It was a big chase coming, and I reckon he would have used his footwork, which would have been great to watch. But I'll tell you one thing I like about Melbourne, they look a lot more patient. They look a little bit more balanced at the moment, so it's interesting.
Well, from the scrum, it's Howarth tackle, 15 out from his own line, and now they dart from dummy half the Melbourne Storm. Comes back open side right, and taking the tackle Clark, about 25 out from his own line. Around the grounds, in the AFL first quarter, Richmond 22, leading Essendon 14. Rugby first half at the SFS ACT Brumbies 7, Waratahs 0. Tolau sends the ball left this time to Bloor. He's taken 5 short of halfway. Melbourne with it, leading 6 points to 0, thanks to the early try to Moses Leo. Failongo right in the centre of the ground. He scored 4 metres in Canterbury Bankstown's territory by Thompson. Played on the last. Tolau goes right. Hughes the kick from 45 metres out. And it's bending to his left, taken by Carraz. 5 out from his own goal line, heads over the 10. Really good chase, headed by King, Utoikamano and Russell Smith. 15 out from the Canterbury Bankstown goal line. 6-0 Storm lead. Now it's Montoya at first receiver. And in centre field, he's put to the ground. 22 metres out from his own line. Plays the ball to Galvin. Short ball goes left to Bronson Sherry. He's wrapped up 30 out from his own line. 15 in from touch, western side. Played to Kurt Mann. He falls over as he offloads to his right, Salmon to King. And Max King's taken down low by Bloor, over the top by Russell Smith. 12 short of halfway. Down Galvin. Short side right. Cut out ball finds Anari Tuala. He's tackled on halfway. 10 in from the far or eastern touch line. Last play Canterbury. Tubanua dummy half. Goes left to Burton. He puts up the kick down to Suafale Longo. And he catches it 11 metres out from his own goal line. Returns it near the 20. But he's put to the ground by Mann in the first instance. And Galvin, 19 out from his own line, 9 gone. 6-0 Melbourne, touchline we go, Johnny Gibbs.
Well, it's very obvious, Andrew, that Matt Burton is doing all of the kicking because it's been shared around. He hasn't been the dominant kicker in recent weeks. Well, he's doing all of the kicking so far, and they're putting a good chase on far longer, so to say. They've got 6 again. Here he goes, though, now at the middle.
Yeah, Melbourne Storm, 6 more tackles. Thank you, Jotty. As the Storm through Farlongo, 4 metres in Canterbury's half. Played Toalau, goes left, Clark away to Utoikamanu. He's claimed 35 out from the Canterbury Bankstown line, Toalau. Sends the ball right. Russell Smith away to Hughes. Short ball away to Lasardi. He's caught 30 metres out from the Bulldogs goal line. Melbourne 6, Canterbury Bankstown 0. Storm attack. It comes left to Josh King. He powers his way into Burton and 2 others. Stands in the tackle, 20 metres out, last play. Toalau goes right. Hughes the kick, looking for Warbrick. The ball near the goal line. Up goes Renakama. The ball bounces back for Sherry, and Canterbury Bankstown survive, but it is a penalty for offside. A penalty goes to Melbourne, deemed to have been off the Canterbury play into the offside. Sherry from Renakama to Sherry, and it is a penalty going to the Melbourne Storm, the first of the game after 10 and a half minutes.
Yeah, that was a nice kick there from Jerome Hughes. Gets the kick right on the money. I reckon if he just gets it about a half a metre longer, it would have been a really good opportunity there for Warwick. But yeah, you're right. That definitely comes off the Bulldogs play, goes straight into Bronson Sherry's arm. But there's a little bit of concern for the Bulldogs at the moment with Preston just getting his wrist checked, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he's in the in-goal area. It looks like, Johnny, Melbourne's not going to take the 2. It's about 8 metres in from touch, but it looks like they're going to tap it on.
Yeah, it's a bit slippery. This is a real concern for Jacob Preston because he's looking in that wrist area, that lower arm, and look, they're looking at it closely, but if you're in that much pain, you can't be tackling that effectively. The bounce of the ball is just not going the Bulldogs' way the last couple of weeks, and that's what happens when you're losing games. You lose your confidence. Things are tough. By the way, this is the 2000th. He's staying out there, Preston. The 2000th premiership game for the Dogs, who came into the competition in 1935. The third team to do that. Well, he just gets a knee there, so that doesn't look good. He could have some bone damage.
Tap taken, 15 out. Hughes sends the ball left. Lasardi caught 10 out from the Canterbury line. Here, game number 2000 for the Bulldogs. Came into the comp in 35 and won it in 1938. Jerome Hughes goes left. Russell Smith on the inside to Bloor, and Sean Bloor's taken 8 metres out from the Canterbury line. 6-0 Storm, and they're on the attack. Toalau dummies inside, goes outside. Russell Smith away to Josh King, and he's pulled to the ground 5 metres out by Max King and Leo Thompson. Down to the left, Russell Smith dummies, goes himself, crashed to the ground by Tubanua. A metre out from the goal line. Do they keep going left to Storm? They do. Toalau, long passes are dreadful. Straight to Marcelo Montoya, and much too ambitious there from Trent Toalau. Now it comes left side to Anari Tuala on play 2. He scored 18 out from his own line, 11 minutes 30 gone, and it's 6-0 to the Melbourne Storm. And now there is a replacement for Canterbury. Preston is coming off and onto the field for the Bulldogs. Now very early in this game, Harry Hayes as Canterbury spread it left to Sherry, dragged to the ground by Mini, 11 metres short of halfway. He plays it 5 in from the western touchline to Renakama, goes right to Burton, dummies his way into Toalau and 2 two others, including Utoikamanu and Clark. Right on halfway, last tackle Bulldogs. It's played to man, goes right to Galvin, kicks downfield from halfway to the left wing. Moses Leo, the try scorer, with the catch. Then he runs right across field, but he won't get through there. He's going to be taken easily 12 out from his own goal line. Good chase, Bulldogs, but a real blow, Louis, with Preston coming off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a massive blow. And going off that replay that we've seen there from Preston going in for that tackle, he gets a knee right on the arm, the forearm, I should say. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's either a big claw or it could be a little bit of a break in the arm. So, yeah, fingers crossed for Preston. We'll see him back out in the park tonight.
Warbrick centre field for Melbourne, taken 26 out from his own line as we see Preston go straight through the tunnel. Now Melbourne go right edge to Mini. Tackled 33 out from his own goal line by Burton. Plays the ball Toalau. Goes left to Hughes on play 4. Kicks it deep, looking for a 40-20. Charging across is Carraz. The ball near the touchline. He sends it back into the field of play, but it's scooped up by Leo. He's going to get his second. Melbourne score. He tried to keep it in the field of play, Carraz. Picked up by Moses Leo because no one else was back for Canterbury. And it's a gift for Moses Leo. Great kick, Jerome Hughes. Melbourne 10, Canterbury Bankstown 0. 13 minutes and 15 seconds gone, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, unbelievable. It wasn't the prettiest kick that comes off Jerome Hughes' foot, but it's going straight for a 40-20. And then you got Carraz. He knows he has to make a play, and there's the 20-metre line right in front of him. And he tips it back in, but does not realise he's got no players back there. And then Moses Leo couldn't believe his luck. There's no one in front of him. There's 10 metres to go. All he has to do is bend over and pick up that ball nice and clean. Goes over near the sticks and slides over as you like. But I can't believe that I haven't seen a try like that before.
Does that speak to Jacob Carraz not being a natural fullback as well?
I don't think it's got much to do with him. He's done a great job to keep it in, but yeah, maybe
you've got to be aware of where your teammates are.
Yeah, correct. But you would have been hoping that probably hit the line there too. But
because it looked a great effort.
It was a big effort, but just no one back there. The Bulldogs, I feel like the Bulldogs probably should have been a little bit more urgent to sprint back and try and help him out there. And I'm going to tell you now, that air conditioner, I didn't turn it on.
It feels like you did. Here's Nick Meaney, 12 metres out, 5 metres to the left of the post, strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. He's 2 out of 2. Melbourne 12, Canterbury Bankstown 0 here on NRL Friday. The rain is falling. There's 14 minutes, 30 gone. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, the key to that, and you just mentioned it, Louis, no urgency. Where were all the other Bulldogs players retreating, turning around? Because it wasn't the most powerful kick. It certainly was bouncing all over the shop. It went at right angles and went towards the touchline. He went quickly as he could, Jacob Carraz, and it's slippery, so that makes it all the more difficult. He probably should have had a bit of a bow peep, but Moses Leo, good on him because he took the opportunity. But that's another example, as I say, when you're down and things aren't working out, that's just another thing that can happen.
Kickoff taken by Russell Smith. Goes right to Utoikamanu, and he's caught 12 out from his own line. So a great start, Melbourne, in pursuit of a third straight win. And Canterbury looking to correct a 5-game losing streak. Josh King plays it on the 20. Comes right to Cooper Clark. He's wrapped up 29 out from his own goal line. Quarter of an hour gone. 2 tries already for Melbourne. Both scored by Moses Leo. Now to the right edge. It's with Lasati, the second rower. Tackle 12 short of halfway. Played to Toalau. Goes left to Farlongo. Wrapped up 6 short of halfway. Bringing up the last tackle for Melbourne. The tackle there from Thompson and Mann. Dummy half Toalau. Goes right to Hughes. The kick 7 short of halfway. End over end into the rain. Taken by Carraz. 11 out from his own goal line. Heads up over the 20. And it's a very good chase. King was in there as well. Josh King. Along too with the lock Cooper Clark and Lasati. Now they work it right, Rinakama. Strong run by the winger. Jeffro's caught. 32 metres out from his own goal line. Plays the ball to Mann. Short ball goes right edge this time to Carraz. And Carraz got the pass out. The back it goes. Montoya away. Tupanua to Tuala. Cross straight past Moses Leo. Tuala over halfway. Dragged to the ground by Howard. 36 out from the goal line. Plays the ball quickly to Montoya. Comes left Tupanua. Wrapped up 26 out from the Melbourne line. He'll get to his feet now. Plays the ball. And they work it short side right. Galvin kicks behind Farlongo into the in-goal area. Over the touch in goal line. Off Sua Farlongo. Goal line drop out Melbourne. That was Canterbury's best set of the game by far. 16 gone. Melbourne 12. Bulldogs 0. Around the grounds in the rugby. The Brumbies in the first half leading New South South Wales 14-0. And in the AFL, it's quarter time. Richmond leading Essendon 29-14. Line drop out here for the Storm.
Yeah, just a simple one-on-one miss over there with Moses Leo. He just couldn't get Inari Tuala, but nice little vision there also by Lockie Galvin to come up with a great little kick. And I think the Melbourne Storm tried to go a short line dropout, but just went a little bit too long.
Yeah, Failongo got all of that down to Salmon. Caught at 35 out from the Melbourne line. Now tackled 25 out from the goal line by Utugamanu. Now Canterbury work it right. Man away to Max King. Good run up the centre. Caught 15 out from the goal line. He'll play the ball. Set restart. Too slow in the play the ball, Melbourne. And now a great chance for Canterbury Bankstown as Sherry runs left to right. Then he straightens. He's going to be tackled. 11 out from the line by Utugamanu and Blore. Rain seems to be getting a bit heavier. Man goes left to Galvin. Turns it into Max King. He's tackled 7 metres out from the Melbourne goal line. Man a dummy half. Works it away right. And it goes from Galvin to Thompson. He scored 6 out from the Melbourne line. Melbourne 12, Canterbury Bankstown 0. 17 minutes 30 gone. Short side right to Manure. Close to the goal line. Held up though by Howarth. Utugamanu and Failongo a metre away. Plays it to Man. Goes left to Galvin to Burton. Burton puts in a stab kick looking to link up with Salmon, but taken by Failongo. He hits the deck. Burton the tackle. 3 out from the Melbourne line. Almost 18 gone. 12-0 Storm. Touchline John Gibbs.
Well, that's an example. Oh, that's ball's lost. Here's another chance for the Dogs. Do something with it, boys.
Thompson goes right. Salmon away to Galvin after the drop ball from Will Warbrick. They swing it back to the left towards centre field. Man got the pass away to Harry Hayes. He's tackled 13 out from the line. Warbrick the mistake. Canterbury another chance. Man goes left to Burton. Dummies runs himself. Tackled 4 out from the Melbourne line. And then there was Lasardi and Hughes. Dummy half Sherry again runs all the way left to right. Great tackle by Stefano Utugamanu. 6 out in front of the northern post. Played the Man, goes right to Galvin. Cut out ball to Wala. He got straight past one. He'll go all the way at Ari Tuala. Slides over in the tackle of Sean Moore to score. Once he beat that first man, it was easy going from Ari Tuala. He slides over to score and the Bulldogs hit back after the Will Warbrick drop ball. 18 minutes 45 gone. Melbourne 12, Canterbury Bankstown 4. The try to Anari Tuala, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, Will Warbrick, he stayed down for a bit. He got a bit of a hit for his troubles coming out of his own end. Comes up with a drop ball, but then smart play by the Bulldogs. They get to the middle of the field. They have a look up. Which way do they go? Good work there from Lockie Galvin to throw the cutout pass, not go to Carraz, just go straight to Anari Tuala. Gives a one-on-one where he gets on the outside shoulder and just uses his speed. And he knows with this wet weather, if you get about a metre and a half out, you're pretty much going to slide over. And that's exactly what he does. He doesn't promote the ball, puts the point of the ball down on the try line and gets the Bulldogs into the scoreline. Onto the try, the scoreline, I should say.
Goal line?
Oh, goal line.
Goal line.
I'm used to saying goal line. It felt weird. But it's on the scoreboard. That's what I should have said.
Yeah, touchline.
Yeah, well, he knew that he was going to use the conditions there, and he slid over the goal line literally because he made, on 2 occasions in the last couple of minutes, he's made absolute mincemeat of Moses Leo, who scored 2 tries of his own, but Anari Tuala has done a great job, and that's a try. That is fair dick of a try. And what I was going to say before Will Warbrick rudely interrupted me by dropping the ball is that the Bulldogs have got the worst red zone attack in the league of anyone, and you could see examples there.
Well, here's Matt Burton now trying to add to their tally. Melbourne 12, Canterbury Bankstown 4. Burton 25 metres out, free in from the eastern touch line. 2 tries to 1 to Melbourne. We'll get your text messages after the kick. Burton, the left footer. He moves in. He strikes it, heading towards the post. He likes it. He's kicked it. Great kick, Matt Burton. 6 points the difference now. Melbourne 12, Canterbury Bankstown 6 here at Stadium Australia with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs and Andrew Moore.
And Warbrick has come from the field and he's going straight up the tunnel as well.
Good spotting. So that's the first interchange for Melbourne. As Louis pointed out, Warbrick looked injured, having lost the ball on that tackle on the text line. How is Jonty doing on the sidelines? Looks like uninspiring conditions. Yeah, Dom, he's well up for it, I promise you. Down to you, Jonty.
Yeah, and Will Warbrick's left, he's got damaged ribs, and he did that very early on, and he's just hurt them again. But the devastating news for the Bulldogs, broken forearm for Jacob Preston.
Oh dear, that sounds like a goodly long stint on the sideline. Broken forearm. Isn't that what you suggested, Louis?
I should be a doctor.
Well, Is Canterbury with it? Centre field, Montoya, having dealt with a few over the recent months. No, get good at this. Montoya plays it outside the 20 to man. He sends it away right edge this time, and the tackle's going to be made on Carraz by Blore. 31 out from the Melbourne, Canterbury line rather. Man goes right. Galvin from inside the 40. Boots it downfield. Failongo in pursuit has got the distance for a 40-20. Not quite the direction. Failongo picks it up. Great chase, and Tilly Tupanua, the second rower, in concert there with Anari Tuala. 15 out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Plays it. They work it right to Moses Leo, and he's crashed to the ground. Canterbury firing up at the moment, down 12-6 after 21 minutes. Ball played to Trent Towalau. Goes right to Jack Howarth with a right foot step, left two in his wake. Now taken 30 out from his own goal line by Thompson, and now they make another half break here. Melbourne through Mini. He's caught two short of halfway by Burton. Plays the ball Towalau. Short side left to Utoikamanu. Bounced away from Tupanua into Hayes, and held as the call. 10 metres in Bulldogs territory. Last play Melbourne who lead 12-6. Comes right to Hughes. The kick from 40 metres out. Across his body down to the south-east corner. Caught comfortably by Carraz. He returns it and wraps it up 15 out from his own line. We've had 21 minutes and 40 seconds, and Melbourne 12 lead Canterbury Bankstown 6. Quite a good one here, Friday night footy, in pretty slippery conditions. I see Gibbsy's umbrella remains up, but not raining terribly hard at the moment. He's Burton through half a gap. It shuts, dragged to the ground by Clark. 31 out from the Canterbury line. Now to dummy half goes Sherry, up over the 40. Good jinking run. He ends up beating the defence of Lasardi up to halfway. Canterbury on quite the roll at the moment. A metre in Melbourne territory. Dummy half man goes to his right. Galvin. Then in centre field, it's with Hayes. Yeah, it was right the first time. Stood in the tackle. 9 metres in Melbourne territory. Played the man on the last. Goes right to Galvin. The kick from 39 metres out. Very, very shallow. Taken by Montoya. He gets it to Tuala. Kicks over the top. Failongo's there. Ducks under two. Tackles Sua Failongo. And then he's necked and put to the ground. A high shot from Satili Tupanua. Brilliant skills from Sua Failongo. He got down lower than Brian To'o ever did. Penalty to Melbourne. 10 out from its own line. Melbourne 12. Canterbury Bankstown 6.
Well, they sort of got a little bit lucky there too, Melbourne. It was a nice kick. It was a great kick chase, and the Bulldogs players were in the right place to get the ball. And Ari Tuala couldn't come up with the greatest kick, but good work there by Sua Failongo, fullback. He comes up with some nice fancy footwork, gets a little bit of a hand around the face, but the kick upfield is huge by Jerome Hughes. They're going to get just over halfway.
Yes, you're right. 3 metres in Canterbury territory. So tap will be taken by Jack Howarth, and it's the old tip and run as he does so into the defence of Tupanua and two others, including Montoya. 38 out from the goal line. Now Melbourne advance the footy through Blore. 30 out from the Canterbury line. Dummy half Towalau. He sends the ball right to Alec McDonald, who's come onto the field, and he's wrapped up 22 metres out from the line. Melbourne on the attack here with his 12-6 lead. Towalau goes right to Hughes. Short ball, Utoikamanu has been good, and he's caught 13 out when you consider last year Utoikamanu in Origin and Max King in Origin. Ball played now to Towalau. Goes left to running Hughes. He got the pass away to Alec McDonald. Straight past Tupanua, and he scores the try, having just been on the field for about a minute.
Josh King scored.
Oh, it's Josh King. No, it can't be Josh King. It is Josh King. How is it Josh King? He does streak away to score. My apologies to him. I thought it must be Alec McDonald with a bit of speed, but it's Josh King.
You know why? Because I at first thought it was him as well, but he ended up looking on the inside.
It is too. Wow.
Alec McDonald. And then Joshy King is the one who punched into the hole. But what about young Jerome Hughes here? I'm going to say young, old, whatever you want to say, but he is still outstanding in this kind of conditions. Goes into the line nicely, pumps it, has a little bit of a look in over his shoulder, inside shoulder, and then that just goes nice and square. Satili Tupanua has to stay square, and it's a tough tackle on his outside shoulder there where he was positioned. That's a beautiful line run there by Josh King. Outstanding try.
Josh King, the try scorer. Melbourne 16, Canterbury Bankstown 6. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, that was good work there by Melbourne to do that. And just by the way, Warbrick is out of the game, and if you just joined us, Jacob Preston has broken his forearm, which is further bad news for the Dogs. Good ball from Jerome Hughes. We saw it from Izzy Katoa last night. line, but that was a bad miss by Tupanua.
So now the kick coming from Meany, 17 out, 15 in from the eastern touchline. Melbourne 16, Canterbury 6. Here's Meany with the right boot, strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. Nick Meany 3 out of 3, and it's 18-6. Melbourne leading Canterbury Bankstown 3 tries to 1. There's still 14 and a half left in the first half. On the text line 0467 920 222. I agree with the air conditioning, Luke. My bus driver also pleaded ignorance today. Love you guys. I feel his pain, says Jen with a fractured arm. Oh yes, that's Jenny Maxwell, wife of Voice of Summer Jimmy. Broke her arm this week, so I hope you're doing all right, Jen. Boy, so sorry to hear about Jai Arrow. Let's hope they find a way to stop this for the future. And this game stormed by 6. Bell on the Bronco, thank you. Kirk from Towns will go to the Storm. This is the only time I want to see some dogs get kicked. 0467 920 222. So now it is the Melbourne side with it. They have a 25 out from their own line. Who just got tackled then, Luke?
That was Alec McDonald.
Who did not score the previous try. Comes right to Lasati, and he's taken by Max King.
Good to know him.
Good run. Shift, dribbling idiot. 12 short of halfway. Lasati plays the ball to Taualau. He sent it open side left as Melbourne working within 6 metres of halfway. Ball's played and they go centre field left to Furlongo. He's in the middle of the park. Caught 4 metres inside Bulldogs territory, but it is the last coming up now for Melbourne Storm. Comes right to Jerome Hughes. He sends the kick to the southeast corner, taken by Jacob Carraz. Brings it from 8 metres out from his own line, almost back to the 20. Now he gets shoved back 12 metres out from the goal line. So Joey Chan is on the field for the Melbourne Storm, incidentally. Here's Rinakama now for Canterbury. He's tackled 15 out from the Bulldogs line. 18-6 Melbourne leads. Burton dummy half. Goes himself nailed. Great tackle by Taualau. Head on. 22 out from the goal line. Also in there was McDonald. Now comes to the right edge for Canterbury. Thompson put to the ground on his own 30. Plays the ball to Mann. Goes right to Galvin. Dummy pass to Tupanua onto Carraz. And the Canterbury fullbacks nailed. 9 short of halfway. 10 in from the eastern touchline. Great defence from Howarth. On the last, Galvin, a long ball left to Burton. 33 out from his own line. There's the torpedo. Spirals its way down over the head of Meany. Into the in-goal area. Bounce, bounce, bounce over the dead ball line. Well, I don't think Meany wanted to break 4 figures, so he let it go, and it's ended up being a great result for him. 20-metre tap and a 7-tackle set.
He waited for everyone there, Nick Meany. Everyone was on side.
Correct. Come on, see him. White Raymond said you're correct, Luke.
Yes, well, just stop it for a white.
Now from the tap, it's Meany. Caught 27 out from his own line. 12 minutes 30 to go in the half. 18-6 Melbourne. Taualau. He sends the ball left side this time. And Moses Leo is swarmed to the deck. 33 out from his own line. 11 in from the eastern touchline. Taualau goes right to Sean Bloor. And he's going to be taken 10 short of halfway. And 20 in from the eastern touchline. Dummy half Taualau. It's been good. Sends the ball open side right this time. Tackle made here on Joey Chan, just short of halfway. Centre of the ground. Play to Taualau. Goes left to Utoikamanu. Left foot step into the defence. Max King is one of 3 defenders in there with Tupanua and Mann. 42 out from the Canterbury line. Taualau goes left Fa'alongo. Takes on the defensive line, but put to the ground ball and all by Mann and Thompson. 30 out from the goal line. Played on the last. It comes right to Hughes. The kick from 29 metres out. Short of the goal line. Jacob Carraz with a great catch. 8 metres out from his own goal line. Bulldogs have it back. 28 and a half gone. Melbourne 18. Canterbury Bankstown 6. As now it comes right to Jethro Rinakama, and he's scored 10 out from his own line.
Well, at least the Bulldogs aren't making errors come out of their own end. They're going to continue to do that, kick long. But they're doing a good job, Melbourne. They're making so many easy metres. They're kicking to corners, and their kick chase and their defence on plays 1, 2 and 3 has been brilliant.
Not been a bad half hour, to be honest, Louis, as Montoya's caught. 28 out from his own line. Plays the ball Carraz. Late in getting there at dummy half, but he runs from that position and popped a 2-handed pass over the top to Galvin. Galvin accelerates, spins away from 1 tackle. Then he's to halfway. Double pumps it. Ran behind his own player, and surely he's got to submit. He does. A metre in Melbourne's territory, or else it would have been an obstruction. As the defence came in the end from Chan. Plays the ball to Bailey. Hayward on the field. Goes left to Burton. Kurt Mann gets a breather for Canterbury. Kick downfield. Caught by Farlongo. And then a big hop, skip and a jump. Returns at 15 out from his own line. 10 minutes 30 left in the half. Melbourne 18. Canterbury Bankstown 6. Looks like Melbourne is ready for another interchange here at Stadium Australia in the first half, with Davey Moali, the former Rabbitoh, now coming onto the field for Melbourne. As the Storm take it up over their 20-metre line. And it's Moses Leo into Tuala. He got free of 2. Finally claimed 28 out from his own goal line. Play to Tualau. Comes open side right this time to McDonald. He's captured 11 short of halfway. Kick out of dummy half from Trent Tualau from inside the 40. Looking for a 40-20. Carraz comes across as the ball straightens and has it 8 metres out from his own line for the Bulldogs. Runs across field. Long pass. He went from left to right away to Marcelo Montoya. Confronted by Bloor and Tualau on the Canterbury 20. Melbourne 18, Bulldogs 6. Half an hour gone. Let's check in downstairs with Johnny Gibbs.
Well, Nick Meany has moved out to the wings since Warbrick went off the field. Joe Chan's gone into the centres as they swing it wide here. Meany's not well, so here's a chance for the Dogs.
Sherry got the pass away. Rinakama past Meany over halfway. Steps over the 40. Bailon then knocks into the deck, and Rinakama's going to end up, I thought, over the touchline, surely.
Well, his head touched the line.
Well, not out, says the touch judge. Sherry dummy half. Goes right to Burton. He sends it away to Galvin. Stop prop. Linked up with Max King. Speaking of props, and he's taken 25 out and lost the ball, Max King. Melbourne come away with it. Farlongo. He beats one. Ball away to Hughes. He's tackled 29 out from his own line. Gibbsy, did you get a look at Rinakama on the touchline?
Yeah, he was in. If he'd had a little bit more hair growth, he was out, but he was in.
Okay, so well done to the touch judge in that case. Melbourne 34 out from its own line.
Still reckon his head touched the line.
Eagle eye, Louis, hard to argue with. Here's not Josh King, but Alex McDonald.
I'll tell you what, that's where the Bulldogs have got to stay. They've got to keep going to Sherry on Chan. That's the key for the Bulldogs.
Sherry on Chan. Here's Melbourne. Right on halfway, leading 18-6. And the ball played, comes right. Chan played it, goes right Lasati. He's tackled 9 metres in Canterbury Bankstown's half. 20 in from the western touchline with Melbourne up 18-6 as Tualau goes left to Hughes and away to Russell Smith. He turns it back on the inside to Howarth. Runs right across field, beats one. Can't beat Hayward or Salmon. Stands in the tackle, 40 out from the Bulldogs line, played sloppily on the last, comes right to Hughes, the kick from 32 metres out, down to the wing of Rinakama against Meany. Oh, the ball comes free, and it's back there for Jacob Carraz, but it's a penalty to Melbourne.
Yeah, taken out.
Runs some late movement, takes him out of the contest.
So the penalty count 3-0 to the Storm, and this right near the western touchline, 13 out, 3 metres in, Melbourne 18, Canterbury Bankstown 6.
Yeah, it's a correct call. Just watching Bronson Sherry here. He runs straight sideways, takes Nick Meany out as he goes to jump for the ball. We've seen a lot of penalties this year given for that. Great consistency on that one from the referee.
Max King gets a breather. Looks like Jack Underhill, the blonde front row, has come on the field for Canterbury.
Gabriel's just come on for his debut as well from the Melbourne Storm.
Joey Chan from the tap restart. He's going to be shoved backwards. He might be on for Tualau. He's a dummy half, Gabriel. There he is. Gets the ball away, Lasati. And he's going to be taken here by Underhill and Hayes. Only 4 metres out from the goal line. Melbourne looking for a fourth try. It swung to the left. Hughes turned it back on the inside. A juggling act, and then Underhill, a massive tackle coming in on McDonald. Canterbury come away with 4 out from their own line, but referee Raymond will pay the first knock on from McDonald, and Canterbury Bankstown will have a scrum fee. What a hit that was from Jack Underhill.
Well, that is a beautiful tackle.
Oh.
We haven't got to see a hit like that in rugby league for a long time. He gets it absolutely perfect. He bends his back, hits his shoulder, and McDonald just straight on his back there. But he obviously was reaching for the ball. But timing absolutely perfect there from Jack.
Well, he got him right at ball height, didn't he? Where he was carrying the football, he just came in and nailed it. Great tackle, touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, he's a kid from the Sunshine Coast, and he was described by Canterbury as being a polite gentleman. I don't know whether Alec McDonald would subscribe to that. He's got a big motor, and Gabriel Satrick has been in the Melbourne system for the last 3 or 4 seasons. He's originally from far north Queensland.
8 games in the New South Wales Cup this year. Here's Canterbury with it. 32 metres out from their own goal line. Hughes makes the tackle. The ball played. It comes to the right. Galvin turns it in for Underhill, and Josh King makes the tackle with Satrick, 14 short of halfway. Hayward Sends the ball left to Raz. Up over the 40. Satcher again over the top with the tackle. A long two with Lasati. 3 short of halfway. Hayward goes right. Galvin. Pass away to Hayes. Wrapped up 10 metres in Melbourne Storm territory. Canterbury on the attack, trailing 18-6 with 5 minutes 30 to go in the half. Light rain continues. Burton to the left. Carraz. Great ball away. Sherry. He's over the 30 through Hughes. Drag to the ground. No, he got the pass away to Hayward. 20 out. They keep going right to Burton. Then away to Hayes. Harry Hayes. Great tackle. Takes him down. 11 out from the goal line, courtesy of Russell Smith. They go right. Galvin, they may score. Burton away on the great tackle on Tuala. 3 metres out from the goal line. Changeover. Melbourne survive. They'll get the footy. 3 out from their own line, leading 18-6 with 5 left in the half.
Beautiful tackle there by Moses Leo. He gets up, he waits to see what the ball player is going to do and makes the right decision right on the end of the defensive line, comes up with a beautiful tackle around the legs and just snaps him in the spot, puts him straight down on the ground. But again, the Bulldogs look so dangerous when they go to Bronson Sherry. He's got spires on this tonight, especially with this kind of weather. His speed and his footwork, I'd be going there all night.
Moses Leo and his 30 players. It comes right to Josh King. Gee, looks like Ali McDonald. Tackled 12 short of halfway. Played down to Sattrick. Goes right to Hughes from the 40-metre line. Kicks it across his body between Carraz and getting back there is Montoya. He has it for Canterbury. 15 out from his own line. Over the 20. Bounced away from Sattrick. Gets away from Hughes. Marcelo Montoya could be his best run of the year. Put to the ground now. 29 out from his own line. 4 minutes 20 left in the half. And it's Melbourne 18. Canterbury Bankstown 6. Now Jethro Rinakama. He's caught 12 short of halfway. Plays the ball to Bronson Sherry. He drifts across field, but this time it was just across field, and he's nailed 14 short of halfway. The defence coming across there from Sattrick and McDonald. Galvin turns it into Underhill. And Jack beats one. Held as a call, though. 6 short of halfway in the tackle of Sean Bloor. Hayward goes right to Galvin. Short ball to Panua. Russell Smith's made some big tackles out there. That being one of them. 7 metres in Melbourne's half on the last. Short side right. Galvin, the kick from 41 metres out into the gloom. Failongo up. He goes with a great catch. Just ahead of Anari Tuala. 16 out from his own goal line. And Melbourne gets the footy back with 3 minutes 30 left on the ticking clock. And an 18-6 lead. Here's Moses Leo. He scored 26 out from his own line by Hayward. Plays it quickly. They work it right to Meany. He's tackled 32 out from his own line. I'm glad you highlighted Leo's tackle before, because it's not his strength. Defence coming across from Sevens Rugby a couple of years ago. But that was read beautifully by the winger. Here's Melbourne, 9 short of halfway. Lasati plays the ball to Sattrick. He got it away to Chan. He's caught a metre in Canterbury's half last play. Hughes the kick from 43 metres out. A wobbly looking thing bounces just in from the western touchline and over it. And Canterbury Bankstown will get to play the ball. 23 out from their own goal line. Trailing 18-6 after 37 minutes. On the text line 0467 920 222. Does Gibbsy want to change his tip? Asked Rowdy Andy. You're not big on changing your backswing, Jonty.
No, you can't. You've got to stick. And I've got to say the Dogs, they might be trailing by 12. They are trying really hard, and they're showing a bit of pizzazz, which they haven't shown for the last couple of months.
Now here it comes. What's that?
You can change your backswing.
You can, but Gibbsy's not renowned for it. Here's Underhill breaking free of one. What an impact he's having. He's caught here 3 metres in Melbourne territory. Jack Underhill played to Hayward. One-handed pickup. Goes left to Galvin to Burton. They've got bodies in motion. A dummy and a run by Burton. Knocked to the ground by Hughes. About 26 out from the goal line with help from Lasati. It's played now to Galvin. Goes to the right. Hayes away to Carraz centre field. And he takes on the defence there of McDonald and Law. And held is the call. 13 out from the goal line. Played to Hayward on the last. Comes centre field left to Galvin. He double pumps it, then puts in a stab kick towards the northwest corner. Bounces sideways straight over the touchline. Poor result for Canterbury and Galvin. Melbourne play the ball, 10 out from their own goal line. And good patience shown there by Nick Meany, who shifted to the right wing. 90 seconds to go in the half, where Melbourne leads Canterbury Bankstown by 18 points to 6. I have no TV. You three give me all I need. Many thanks. Well, that's our pleasure. Enjoying the call this time from the Filliga National Park, southwest of Narrabri. Last message you on Sunday, the 10th of May, when we were listening from Ninergy, from Michael and G. Well, fantastic. We really appreciate you tuning in across your extensive travels. Here's Gabriel Sattrick now, dummy half. He sends the ball open side right, and Melbourne take it 15 metres short of halfway. Tackle completed on this occasion on the Melbourne Storm player Davey Mawali. Now to within 5 of halfway. Satrick sends it right to Josh King, away to Hugh. Short ball to Sarti. Great defence head-on initially from Burton. Finished off by Salmon. A metre in Canterbury's half. Last play Melbourne leading 18-6. Hugh short side right. It goes to Chan. Back centre field to Satrick. He puts in a little stab kick towards the southwest corner. Karaz bends down. Picks it up 18 out from his own line. Bounced away from one. Got the pass away to Rinakama. He slips down. 21 out from his own line with 20 seconds on the clock here in the first half at Stadium Australia. A long ball goes right. Galvin to Montoya. Right foot step into Russell Smith and Blore and Mawali. About 26 out from the Canterbury line. Plays it to Galvin. Sends it away left. A galloping run here from Karaz. Caught about 13 short of halfway. 2 seconds left in the half, and that'll be it. The referees kept the signal from the timekeeper about a second before the siren sounds, and that's why it does look a little bit odd. But it is half-time here at Stadium Australia, and an 18-6 lead for Melbourne over Canterbury Bankstown. For Melbourne, 2 tries to Moses Leo in the 4th and 14th minute. Josh King scored in the 25th minute. Nick Meaney 3 from 3, 1 restart. For Canterbury Bankstown, a try in the 19th minute to Inari Tuala. Matt Burton 1 from 1. 3 restarts for the Bulldogs. The penalties are 3-0 to Melbourne, and they lead at half-time reasonably convincingly in a pretty good game, Louis, considering the conditions. 18 points to 6.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like it's end-to-end stuff. There hasn't been a whole heap of errors. Both sides are getting through their sets, kicking well and defending well. There's been a couple of breaks here and there. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm are on top on the scoreboard, but also believe that they are winning the arm wrestle at the moment when it comes to field position. But the Bulldogs, they've got some striker there. They're making a couple of plays and some big inroads down that left edge, so it wouldn't surprise me in the second half they continue to lay right and keep going over to Bronson Sherry. They might get a bit of success there, but Jerome Hughes doing an outstanding job middle of the field.
Our producer, Ralph Tucker, has just passed on a message to me that is fantastic. It's joyful news, and it'll mean a lot to our colleague in Melbourne, Ryan Hoffman, and that is Canberra Raiders number 6 player of all time, former hooker Jay Hoffman, has been inducted into the Raiders Hall of Fame. Well, that'll mean so much to the Hoffman family. Congratulations, Jay Hoffman, the original hooker. He has been inducted into the Raiders Hall of Fame. Great stuff to you, Jay, and to you, Ryan, and all the Hoffman family. What a great result. 18-6, Melbourne leads Canterbury Bankstown. First half thoughts, John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, and look, that was a very good quality first half when you consider the conditions. And I've got to say that it was mainly because of the desperation of 2 sides. And there was a couple of soft tries that the Bulldogs, gave up, and a bounce of the ball. That one where Karaz was trying to stop a 40-20, that was just horrible. But nevertheless, that was a good chase by Moses Leo. But there's so many players that are out of this game already, and we've got state of origin representation. I know both, 2 to Melbourne and 1 to the Dogs, or 3 to Melbourne and 1 to the Dogs. But there's been players hurt left, right, and centre. We've lost Will Warbrick with ribs, broken arm for Jacob Preston. So this has meant a bit of a change-up, and that does give an opportunity, I think, to the Dogs. And you said it before, Louis, with Chan in the centres. He's been exposed before. He's not normally a centre, and you can beat him, and that's what they've got to do. Matt Burton's running the ball a lot more. He's kicking a lot more. It's been a better display by the Bulldogs, but the reality is they're still down by 12 at half-time.
Filthy Phil says, I think the Dogs have played okay still in the game. Yeah, they sure are, Phil. Loving the call, fellas, as usual. Heading to Casino from Stanthorpe for Beef Week from Pom Bob and Batto. Well, safe travels, and we appreciate you tuning in here to ABC Sport. Around the grounds in the AFL second quarter, Richmond 43 leading Essendon 27, and in the rugby, another try to the Brumbies early in the second half. They lead the New South Wales Waratahs 21 points to 0. You're with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore. Here it's halftime at Stadium Australia. Melbourne 18, Canterbury Bankstown 6. Let's head right now to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Noni Edwards. The family of a Melbourne man who died hiking in Peru have made a heartfelt tribute to the father of three. 52-year-old Police Sergeant Matthew Payton was on a holiday with his wife on the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu when local police say he tripped and fell about 400 metres. In a statement, his family say they're shattered by the loss and that the family was the most important thing to him. Victoria Police say Sergeant Payton served in the force for 16 years and most recently as a police academy instructor, something his family says they were incredibly proud of. Two Australian activists who were part of an aid flotilla en route to Gaza have alleged they were brutalised by Israeli forces who detained them. Eliza Getzi has more.
Neve O'Connor says the abuse began the moment she and other activists from the global Samud flotilla arrived on board the Israeli prison ship.
I had my hands tied behind my back for so long and for so tight that I almost started vomiting.
She claims soldiers kneed her in the face and stomach and slammed her head on a table and made degrading comments while strip searching her. Jewish Australian Annie Mokato says guns were constantly pointed at activists and rubber bullets fired at them for no reason. Italian activists have made claims of sexual assault. The ABC has contacted the IDF for comment. Israel's ambassador to Australia, Hillel Newman, says activists on the flotilla had not been harmed.
The Northern Territory Health Minister says the government has been proactive in its response to diphtheria while giving his first media interviews today, months into the outbreak. There have been more than 150 cases of diphtheria in the Territory this year, with health organisations expecting numbers to rise before they start to come down. The medical officer of the Central Australian Aboriginal Congress has said a resident died with diphtheria, but NT Health Minister Steve Edgington says work is continuing to determine what caused their death.
We can't confirm that at the moment because we don't have the results of the autopsy. We should have them very soon and we will be able to confirm one way or another whether diphtheria was in fact the cause of death.
Domestic violence survivor advocate groups are urging the federal government to take more funded action to end violence against women. The federal government has just opened consultation on the next phase of its national plan addressing the issue amid some calls for a royal commission into femicide. However, it argues there's no need for one, as the sector dealing with domestic, family and sexual violence already knows what changes are needed. Chair of Respect Victoria, Professor Kate Fitzgibbon, says the sector needs action based on recommendations from previous inquiries.
What we haven't had from them is action and implementation following the inquiry. We don't want to have a royal commission that tells us all the answers again, and then we fall into the same problem on implementation and a lack of funded actions otherwise.
China and Russia have been accused of blocking global efforts to protect the endangered emperor penguin. Antarctic reporter Janu Gibson has the details.
The emperor penguin was recently classified as endangered on a global threatened species list. At this week's Antarctic Treaty Consultative meeting, Australia and other nations proposed it be designated as a specially protected species. While the measure garnered support from most other nations, it failed to secure consensus, with China and Russia blocking the bid. The Antarctic and Southern Ocean Coalition said it was a wasted opportunity to protect a species that scientists fear could become extinct by the end of the century.
Protests have been held in the South Korean city Gwangju over a Starbucks ad campaign evoking the country's bloody 1980 military crackdown on pro-democracy demonstrators. Protesters gathered outside one of the chain's cafes and a store owned by its Korean licensee, smashing Starbucks cups and calling for a boycott. Starbucks Korea launched its so-called Tank Day campaign on the anniversary of the May 18 Gwangju uprising. Sport and the Tour Down Under says men and women will ride the same course and distance on some days. The TDU says it's the first time the joint staging's been held anywhere in the world. The South Australian event was the first to offer equal prize money in 2018. In January, the men's six-stage race will start on a Tuesday. The women's will be from Friday and both ending on Sunday. Former pro cyclist and Tour Down Under assistant race director Carly Taylor says the change will bring more exposure to the women's race.
Our women's peloton are going to see this as a really great opportunity and a step forward. I think it also just shows the progression that women's cycling is having and the level that the sport is at, that we're even able to do this.
You're up to date now with the very latest from ABC News.
Bet you didn't know we're the world's biggest gamblers.
Totally crippled my life.
Bingo!
I'm finding out why and if we really are the lucky country. Join me, Sean McAuliffe, Going for Broke.
Stream all the episodes now on ABC iView. ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
12 out from the line. Now Josh King. Sends it left. He took a Mano, puts it on the toe. It comes back towards the Melbourne Storm. They spread it away to the left. Howarth, he got the pass away. Beating one tackle and going over to score very easily for Melbourne and Moses Leo. Really soft try for Melbourne. Plays the ball Taualau. Goes left to Hughes on play 4. Kicks it deep, looking for a 40-20. Charging across is Carraz. The ball near the touchline. He sends it back into the field of play, but it's scooped up by Leo. He's going to get his second. Melbourne score. He tried to keep it in the field of play, Carraz. Picked up by Moses Leo because no one else was back for Canterbury. And it's a gift for Moses Leo. 6 out in front of the northern post. Played the man, goes right to Galvin. Cut out ball to Wala. He got straight past one. He'll go all the way at Nari to Wala. Slides over in the tackle of Sean for the score. Once he beat that first man, it was easy going for Nari to Wala. He slides over to score and the Bulldogs hit back.
Rugby League is on your radio. The 2026 NRL Premiership.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
And you're with the giggling Luke Lewis. John Gibbs, I'm Andrew Moore. NRL Friday on ABC Sport. 18-6, Melbourne leading Canterbury Bankstown. Last night it was the Dolphins 30, beating Canberra at 22. Tomorrow, myself, Louis, Michael Carianis and Scott Sorensen joining us for the first time. We'll be at Jubilee Stadium from 2 p.m. and at 5:30 we'll call the game there between St George, Illawarra and the Warriors, who are shaping up, Luke Lewis, after we called their win over Brisbane last week. A thumping win over the Broncos. They're shaping up as the main threat to Penrith, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing some good football. They're sitting at the top of the competition with the Panthers, in second place. But obviously, Mitch Barnett's a bit of a loss for him. But mate, I thought Jackson Ford might have been missing to him, but he's still playing. So look, they're going to be hard to beat. The Warriors and the Dragons. They're not playing the best football, but it's got to come. As Gibbsy says, they're getting closer and closer to a win.
Well, only because of 13 losses in a row.
Is that including last year?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think they're going to go almost the whole year, which is sad to say.
They could easily. Last week was as good an effort as we've seen from them in 6 or 7 weeks, and they still lost 28-6.
6 was it?
Yeah. You were down with
I was probably,
hay fever.
I was probably sneezing my head off when he was kicking the goal.
The other game tomorrow night at 7:30 is Manly Warringah against Gold Coast at Brookvale Oval, and then on Sunday we've got a boardroom show from midday till 4. Connor Watson will join Louis and Jonty and me, and then at 4 o'clock over to Quinton Hull, Grant Bell and Laurie Spina at Townsville Stadium, North Queensland taking on South Sydney. That should be a very interesting game as well. And then NRL Monday between 6:30 and 7:30 Monday night. Louis, you'll be joining me as the co-host for the second half of the show as we look ahead to State of Origin Game 1, which will be here next Wednesday night. We'll be on air from 7.
I can't wait for that.
Seems to have come around pretty quick.
It has gone really fast.
Yeah.
The team named on Monday, but I remember talking about it on Saturday or Sunday whenever we did it.
Sunday.
And then all of a sudden we're sort of here now, and it's like it only feels a couple of days away. It's gone crazy how quick it is.
And we've already had 2 games of the Women's Origin Series. New South Wales has that wrapped up, leading 2-0. Game 3 of that series at the Gold Coast on Thursday night, and Quinton Hull will be on the call there with Karina Brown. So the Blues, what about this stat, Bluey? Just to throw an Origin morsel at you, Johnny Gibbs style. Mm-hmm. If New South Wales beats Queensland in the Women's Origin on Thursday night, they'll win the series 3-0.
Yep.
They will be the first New South Wales team, men or women, to win a series clean sweep 3-0 since the year 2000.
That blows your mind. When
26 years.
What about Queensland? Did they win a clean sweep in that time as well?
They have, but it just shows you how rare it is.
Yeah, very rare.
And how tough it is to do.
And the girls won it last year, and they were filthy they didn't get the last one. So,
Queensland this year, no Tamika Upton, no Julia Robinson, and no Mackenzie Wheel, the front rower, all 3 ruled out through injury. New South Wales, it's amazing how this happens to winning teams, isn't it, Louis? They just keep on with the same 17 or 18, minus Tiana Penatani-Gray.
Yeah, which is a big loss for them, because I thought she played great in game 1. She did. In the back row as well, but she
Kezzy Abs gets the start, and
killed it.
Unreal.
Yeah, but look, they look good, the girls, and I reckon they can get the job done and get the 3-0.
So that's men's Origin Wednesday night, women's Origin Thursday night. You'll hear it all here on ABC Sport. John Gibbs is patrolling the touchline for us. As you said before the break, Gibbs, it's been a pretty good game of footy, all things considered, and with injuries to both sides, and maybe that's going to be the key in this second half. Who can stay fit?
Yeah, absolutely. And here they're about to come out now. Here's Jerome Hughes leading the Melbourne Storm out. The Dogs have got to score first, though, Andrew. They got a little bit of confidence as that half, wore on. That try to Josh King, that was a devastating blow. We got Will Warbrick has just run back out in the field. They said he was out of the game. He's back out there. So there you go.
Yeah, he is too, and he's...
Who told you Porky's down there, Gibbsy?
I cannot reveal my sources.
I bet you want to, though, deep down.
Yeah.
So Warbrick's back out there down in that southeast corner, and his gate looks just fine. Melbourne leading 18-6. I think Gibbs is right, Louis, especially on the back of 5 straight losses. The blue and whites, they have to score first here.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't afford the Melbourne Storm to score another try and get out to, that take them to 24 or whatever it is. But look, the Bulldogs need to be next to score, and the way they're going to do that is they've got to continue to shift to that left edge. Bronson Xerri is the one who could break this game apart for them.
Yeah, he looked very dangerous. Around the ground, second half in the rugby, the Brumbies 21 lead the Waratahs 0. Half-time AFL, Richmond 49 leading Essendon 34, while Fremantle playing St Kilda in Perth, it's 19 all in the first quarter. So Canterbury will kick off. Melbourne Storm to get first use of the footy. Running right to left, defending the southern end of the ground here at Stadium Australia. Game 2 in this shortened round 12 of a 27-round NRL season. And here's the kickoff blown by referee Wyatt Raymond by Matt Burton. Goes to the southwest corner. It's caught by Russell Smith. He gives the pass away open side right, and the first return comes from Davey Moali. He's tackled 13 out from his own line and 8 metres in from touch on the western side. Ball played to Russell Smith. He sends it away to the right edge this time, and Jack Howarth. He's caught 18 out from his own line as the crowd continues to settle here at Olympic Park. Now centre of the field, Melbourne with it through Josh King. He's caught 26 out from his own line by Hayward and Underhill. Plays the ball to Satry. He comes to the right edge this time for the Melbourne Storm. Tackle made. 31 out from the goal line on the replacement, Joey Chan. Now to the right for Longo. He's wrapped up 11 short of halfway for Melbourne. Last tackle Storm. Last tackle of the first set, second half. Played to Satry. Goes right to Hughes. End over end kick down the throat of fullback Jacob Carraz on the Canterbury 20. He returns it to the 30. Good chase from Melbourne. Purple everywhere. And he got a one-hander out the back to Renakama as well. Jethro's up over the 30 to the 40. Takes on Meany and also Lasardi and Warbrick, and finally tackled 5 short of halfway. Good run Renakama after a great effort there by Carraz. Now Xerri up the middle. He's caught 2 metres in Melbourne territory. Melbourne 18, Canterbury banks down 6. Too slow in the play the ball, so a set restart goes to the Bulldogs, their 4th of the night. They have it 7 metres in Melbourne's half, 90 seconds into this second half. The ball played by Underhill to Hayward, goes right to Banua. Chandu's there into Satrick and 2 others. Put to the ground with help from Moali. 30 out from the goal line. 12 in from touch, western side. Hayward to the left on the open side. Galvin away to Burton. Burton plays out the back this time. And to take on the defensive line was Xerri. Xerri straight past one. Slipped over. Finished off by Fulongo. 11 out from the goal line. It comes to the right. Canterbury on the next play. Burton. He runs to the defensive line. Past 1, past 2. Then he's nailed to the ground by the defensive McDonald. 5 metres away. Hayward goes right. Galvin to Tumanua. He strolled through 2 tackle attempts to score. That's what Canterbury Bankstown needed. Titus Attili to Manua. 2 minutes 15 gone second half, and it's now Melbourne 18, Canterbury Bankstown 10. Kick to come to the Bulldogs.
Well, they finally get it right, the Bulldogs, and they look really sharp right from the kick that they got. They got a great offload. They give it to one of the Bulldogs players coming up who made that beautiful carry up the other end of the field. I think it was Renakama who it was, and then all of a sudden they were just on the front foot, but they looked dangerous when they went to that left edge. Bronson Xerri almost went straight through, and then just a quick play over to the right edge, and they finally get this pass right. So Tilly Tupanua has to be one of the best in the game that runs a really hard hole. He's hard to tackle, and he's made some big plays tonight, and in this one close to the line, he just runs a beautiful line on the inside shoulder, too hard to stop. And the Bulldogs, that's what they needed. They need to be the first team to score. They get it right. 18-10 kick to come, game back on.
Well, Tupanua had the 5'8", Keegan Russell-Smith isolated and ran straight through him. Touchline, John Gibbs.
There was good sleight of hand, though, by Lockie Galvin, and certainly Keegan Russell-Smith has been doing plenty of defence, but Tupanua, close range like that, wasn't going to be making a tackle. But there was a good run by Rinakama, then there was a good run by Sherry, a good run by Burton, played the ball, sleight of hand, short ball to Tupanua, too big and strong for Keegan Russell-Smith. That's the start they needed. Sean Bloor, incidentally, has failed on HIA, a club that imposed HIA. He's failed, he's out of the game.
Okay, thank you, Gibbsy. Sean Bloor is gone. Here's Matt Burton, 17 out, 20 in from the western touchline, and he kicks the goal. So he has kicked another one. He's 2 out of 2, and it's 18-12. Melbourne leading Canterbury Bankstown here at Stadium Australia as the Melbourne Storm bring it back for the restart. Hello, Luke.
Hello, Andrew. And Strange, the State of Origin coach, as you sat down in front of us.
I thought that's who it was. There seemed to be a whole heap of energy just come in front of our box.
Got a big smile on his face. He knows he's got the State of Origin series in the bag, but he wants the 3-0.
So now, what?
It'll be a tough one to do.
It'll be tough. I'm on the Gold Coast.
I'm backing him.
0467 920 222. Very well done for your pre-match presentation about Jai Arrow's health. It put things in perspective. Let's hope we can all support research into this terrible affliction. Thank you, Steve. Listening at Goldnong. As now Canterbury on play 2. It comes open side right to Rinakama. He's wrapped up 28 out from his own line. Ian says, unfortunately for the Dogs, Galvin and Burton are too similar in their style of play. They need a Hughes-like player who can provide variety in attack. They are few and far between Jerome Hughes types, I've got to say, though, Ian, but I know what you mean. Here's Canterbury on its own 30-metre line. To the right edge, Tupanua, another strong run. Meeting powerful defence by Mawali was in there, along with Howarth and Satrick. Galvin goes left to Burton, steps straight past one over the 40. He links up with Jamin Salmon. He got the ball away to Sherry, gets rounded up by Warbrick. 33 out for the Melbourne line. Played on the last to Hayward. Goes right, Burton, the kick from 31 metres out. 6 points the difference. Up goes far. Long, great catch by Sua. And he got up to run again, 11 out from his own line. What a take under pressure. 4 minutes 20 gone in the second half. And it's Melbourne 18, Canterbury Bankstown 12. That was a really, really good set from the Bulldogs, Louis, and a great catch by Furlonga.
Yeah, great set by the Bulldogs, but they're doing it right. They're coming to the right side. They're laying a play on the right, and they're shifting to that left edge. And the Melbourne Storm defence on that right side are freaking out. It's because Bronson Cherry's been causing damage all over there all night, and now Matty Burton's starting to chime into the action. So good work by the Bulldogs.
So now it is Melbourne, 12 short of halfway. Satrick goes right to Hughes. Punts it along the ground. It goes past Carraz into the Norris corner to the in-goal area where Carraz has to field it. He brings it back near the 10-metre line. Passes right to Rinakama, the bigger body, and he's nailed and put to the ground about 11 out from his own goal line. And there was Mawali with Josh King. And that comes right side, Marcelo Montoya. He's felled 16 out from his own line. Canterbury Bankstown with the ball, doing well in their second half, but trailing 18-12, 5 minutes 45 gone. Now inside their 30, Hayward sends it left to Galvin. He turns it back on the inside, galloping towards the 30-metre line is Thompson with a flick pass, and the Bulldogs still inside their 30. 15 in from the western touchline. Hayward, he sends it away open side left to Carraz. He got the bars out the back again. He's done some good skills like that as Carraz. Galvin goes left to Burton. He threw one. Then got the pass back to Galvin, but the pass went forward. I think the referee's right. It was a forward pass off the ground, and the Melbourne Storm, much to the chagrin of the crowd here at Stadium Australia, will get the scrum feed. 5 metres in Bulldogs territory. 6 minutes 30 gone second half. Melbourne 18, Canterbury 12. The break by Burton and the forward pass to Galvin.
Yeah, I'm going against you on that. I don't feel like that one did go forward, but
miles forward.
No, Andrew. I think a little bit of but at the end of the day, that's what the referee called. I think they got unlucky there, the Bulldogs, but again, nice work by the Bulldogs, shifting to that left edge, making a lot of inroads. They've got to continue to stay there. They're going to get a lot of joy.
Has Gibbsy got to break the deadlock? Forward or not forward, Jonty?
No, line ball, that was an optical illusion because he was turning backwards and threw the ball. But that was a tough one to call. I couldn't be damning the referee for that call.
So we got 1-1 and 1. Fair enough. Here's Melbourne, 6 metres in Canterbury territory as the Storm spread it to the right. And the tackle made on Mawali. 40 out from the Bulldogs line. Melbourne up 18-12. Satrick goes right to left. Hughes turns it into Josh King. And King's going to be tackled 34 metres out from the goal line. And the lost ball from King. Canterbury celebrate like they've just scored a try. Thompson in there getting the congratulations of his teammates. And the Bulldogs will get a scrum feed. Here's a challenge though from Melbourne. White Raymond, take it away.
Captain's challenge. We're coming into tackle 3 with Josh King. On-field ruling is knock on into a defender. They believe it goes backwards.
Okay, that'll be a tough one to prove, I fancy, on the replay for Chris Butler. At the moment, the ruling and knock on.
You would have lost it anyway.
3 Canterbury defenders in there. Salmon, Thompson and Underhill.
Josh Kings are looking to offload the ball and lose possession. Just need to see if it contacts a Bulldog.
Tough for we're sitting right here.
On front of the
camera, just the camera view that we're getting on that is not very good. And I reckon
if it goes back, you'll get it back.
Yeah, that's right.
Just looking at all available angles to see if it hits Jamin Salmon's leg.
If it hits Jamin Salmon's leg, it's a knock on.
Yeah, but you can't see it on that angle either. And then he pushes it back out, so it's popping out now.
Yeah,
because he went to offload it.
Yes.
Then he goes to push
Based
it
on the
back.
available angles, we have no conclusive evidence. Melbourne will retain their challenge.
So, Jerome, you will keep your challenge, but the decision stands.
So it'll be a knock on Josh King. Melbourne keeps its challenge. Canterbury Bankstown have a scrum feed. 13 short of halfway. 18-12 Melbourne leads.
One thing I do like about the Bulldogs at the moment is their energy levels. Their energy levels, they're running around. Every time something goes their way, they're high-fiving, they're pumping each other up. So they're definitely back into this game big time. They're looking sharp.
Also on the text line, 0467920222 as Canterbury wins the scrum. And they have it 8 short of halfway. Great calling as always in response to the guys heading to Beef Week in Casino. Nothing good ever happens there. Well, nothing you can tell your mother anyway from Jono and the Southern Downs.
They have chicken there as well, yeah.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience, Jono. Here's Canterbury on the inside, Satili Tupanua. He's going to be caught, 39, making 40 out from the line. Ball's going to be played to Hayward. Comes short side right. Canterbury working their way to it in 27 of the Melbourne goal line. As Louis said, playing with great exuberance here in the second half. Now the ball played by Carraz. Goes left to Galvin, away to a running Burton. He gets a short pass on to Jamin Salmon. And Salmon's going to be contained by Mini over the top. 17 out from the line. On the last, Burton runs left to right. Gave the pass to Galvin. Fires it out the back to Carraz. Then he links up with Anari Tuali. Flick pass on now to Rinaka to Montoya. Montoya from the goal line. Can he get it down? I don't think so. Held up to referee White Raymond. It'll be a changeover. And Melbourne will get the footy back. 10 out for their own goal line. Melbourne 18. Canterbury Bankstown 12. Great effort by the Bulldogs. But Melbourne just hold on, Louis.
Well, I had a bit of everything this play. It was a brilliant pass there from Anari Tuala. It was an outstanding pick up and take there from Montoya. But then the scramble defence from the Melbourne Storm, they get themselves in the right position to hold the ball up. So great defence, great skill, great all-round rugby league right there.
Canterbury on top at the moment, aren't they? But they're down 18-12. Melbourne 25 out from their own line. Half a break made by Failongo. He's tackled 14 short of halfway by Hayes. Played to Satrick. Goes right to Will Warbrick. Good strong run from the winger. He's caught midfield right on halfway. Melbourne with a footy. Gabriel Satrick. He sent it right to a juggling Alec McDonald. Runs into the fence there of Hayes and Sherry. 42 out. Short side right to Hughes with the kick on the last. Down the Norris corner for Carraz. Takes it under no pressure. 5 out from his own line, but another penalty.
Needs to be a genuine tackle attempt.
Goes to Melbourne, and Canterbury penalised for an off-the-ball tackle there on Jerome Hughes. So the penalties are 4 blocked to the Melbourne Storm.
The ball was hitting his foot as he made contact with Matty Burton.
There is nothing wrong with that.
No, that is ridiculous.
Penalty goes to Melbourne. Touchline, John Gibbs.
That's a ridiculous penalty. Seriously. I mean, even Jerome Hughes is laughing about it because he pushed him. I think the language of the referee was there. He's got to be making a genuine attempt at tackling him, not pushing him. So technically probably right, but that was a fair dinkum. That wouldn't have hurt me.
Well, sorry, John, keep going.
No, I was just going to say arm his shoulder.
That's one thing I loved about the State of Origin women's the other night.
Yes.
Is that every time they put a kick in, they could actually go and tackle them, and there was no one getting pulled up for it at all. It was actually really good to watch. You get Matty Burton come out and lay a finger on him when the ball's still in his hand. Hasn't even hit his foot yet.
But so that's the difference in the ruling, though. Had he gone on and actually made a tackle, Matt Burton, it wouldn't have been a penalty. So White Raymond, no, I'm agreeing with you, don't worry. But White Raymond is saying that the decision is for a push. It's not a genuine attempt at a tackle. Here's Mini, 17 out, 18 in with a penalty shot, strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal, and Nick Meaney is 4 from 4. Melbourne 20, Canterbury Bankstown 12. No, I'm not disagreeing with you, Louis, because that just does not look like it should be a penalty ever.
That's a GR. That's all I can say. It's GR. But it is what it is. It's the rules.
It is the rules. So
but that is a silly rule.
Again, I can't criticise White Raymond for it because the replays obviously does exactly what White Raymond said. It wasn't a genuine attempt at tackle. It was a push. But, Gibbsy said it wouldn't have hurt him. Wouldn't have hurt a fly. Wouldn't have knocked the pea off a chop. Here's Burton. Kicks it down to Failonga. 5 out from the Melbourne goal line. He gives the pass away right to Josh King. I don't want him to leave though, Louis.
No, I'm not leaving.
10 out from his own line. 28 and a half still to go. Melbourne 20, Canterbury Bankstown 12.
I would have walked out if you put him in the bin. That's fair.
Do you know what? I might have gone with you. Here's Melbourne heading up over their 20-metre line now with this 18-12 lead. Tackle made on Lasati. Plays the ball to Satrick. Centre field left McDonald. He scored 13 short of halfway. Melbourne with the footy. Now it's Satrick. Goes left to Failongo. Straight past the first. Then sent the pass away left to Chan. He's caught ball and all just short of halfway by Tuala. On the last use. Oh, he ran into a push from Tuala. He could be set off. Kick taken by Carraz. And he's away up to the 30-metre line and beyond. He's going to be claimed eventually by King and McDonald. 15 short of halfway.
I'm going to cut him. Can I ask you something? What was the difference between that and the last one?
Here it comes to the right side. Canterbury with it, Marcelo Montoya. Wrapped up 6 short of halfway. 20 in from the western touchline. Dummy half is Hayward. Goes left to Max King. And he's going to be caught half a metre in Melbourne territory. I can't answer you like I want to because last time my raspberry in Brisbane got too much airplay. Here's Burton, goes to the left. Sherry, pass away to Rinakama, not a good pass, and he goes without it. Look out, picked up by Failongo, but a knock-on is already the ruling from White Raymond. I know what you're going to ask. It's going to be a scrum feed to Melbourne, 9 short of halfway. 13 gone second half. Melbourne 20, Canterbury Bankstown 12. As the pass was dropped by Rinakama.
Yeah, but why is that not by...
I think it went forward from Melbourne, yeah. You're going to ask why he couldn't fail on it.
Yeah, but it was actually forward, so that's fair.
All right.
But, yeah.
Let's go to the touchline. How are you down there, Jonty?
Oh, very well, Penny, because the rain has stopped and the breeze has again gone away. It's quite a pleasant night again, and it augurs well for some good footy. Again, though, like in the first half, except for a tinsy-wincy knock-on, Failongo would have been away.
Here's Melbourne with the scrum win. Gibbsy, Howard 2 short of halfway, plays it, goes left side, and now the tackle made on Moses Leo. 8 metres in Bulldogs territory. 4 in from the western touchline. It's played to Satrick. He sends it to the right side. It's Melbourne. Encroached within 35 metres of the goal line. 12 in from touch, western side. Chan plays the ball to Satrick, goes right to Russell Smith, turns the ball into Alec McDonald, and he's going to be claimed here by Hayes and Hayward. 32 out from the line, centre field. They work it right. Russell Smith away to Hughes. He's now one-on-one. That was all in slow motion, and he lost the ball. That was very unlike Jerome Hughes. He went at half wrap power, but he's going to challenge, so let's have a listen to White Raymond.
Yeah. Lucky captain's challenge. Coming in to tackle 5 with Jerome. On-field ruling is knock on. He believes it's stripped.
20-12 Melbourne. He was adamant about it from the start.
While Craig Bellamy sitting in the box now, I'd believe Jerome Hughes challenging this.
Look at the left hand here of Matt Burton, cupped around the top of the ball. Continues to pull at it in a stripping motion. There's one in the tackle. It's a one-on-one strip, knock on Bulldogs. The captain's challenge is successful.
Knock on Bulldogs.
No, it's just a knock-on. So it'll be a Melbourne scrum feed. There's nothing illegal in what Burton did. It was a one-on-one strip. So it's going to be a scrum feed to Melbourne.
Tackle 0. Can you tell who's trying to make the tackle?
I'm a little bit rattled. Oh, there. See the big Maxi King?
Not every time. Play the ball.
See, now you're becoming a ref. You're looking for stuff. Melbourne 31 out.
They got me looking, Andrew.
You are a bit rattled. 31 out for the Canterbury line. 10 in from the eastern touch line. And the ball's just going to be played by Jerome Hughes.
When you ready?
The tackle count restarts. Gabriel Sattrick at dummy half. He sends it away, open side left. All right, let's get back to some good footy. Hopefully, well, it's not there because Melbourne dropped the ball on play one. Picked up by the Bulldogs, Carras. He goes right to Satili Tubanua. He's going to be tackled 30 out from his own line. 25 and a half to go. Melbourne 18, Canterbury Bankstown 12. Bulldogs looking to correct a 5-game losing streak. Melbourne looking for a third straight win as the Bulldogs have it. Mid-quarter halfway their own territory, and Ari Tuala plays it to Bailey Hayward. He sends it left to Max King. Swarming defence comes from his namesake Josh and Davey Mawali, 13 short of halfway. Hayward goes right to Galvin. Then he links up away to his right to Hayes. Harry's caught, 7 short of halfway. 20 in from the western touchline. Hayward, blindside right to Carras. Good hands, pass away to Tupanua. And 3 defenders there, including McDonald and Russell Smith, bring him down 8 metres in Melbourne territory. Hayward dummy half, goes left to Galvin, plays out the back to Burton, and they got numbers to Sherry. Sherry over the 40, Meany can't make the tackle. He cuts back in field to the 30, links up with Burton. Burton easily through one tackle. Farlongo to beat. Farlongo brings him to the deck. 9 metres out, plays the ball to Galvin. They've got numbers to the left. Salmon passes away, and going over to score is Jethro Rinakama. Desperate effort by Will Warbrick, who dived like he's off the 3-metre board of the Olympic Games to try and intercept or knock it away, but he couldn't. And it's a try assist for Jamin Salmon. Try to Jethro Rinakama. Great work by Matt Burton, and it's now Melbourne 20, Canterbury Bankstown 16 with a kick to come, Luke Lewis.
Well, it's no surprise. The bloke who's got spiders on him tonight in Bronson Sherry over on that left edge. He makes another break around the outside of Nick Meany, comes back in field with his footwork, picks up Matty Burton, who gets a quick play the ball, and great awareness there from Lockie Galvin to come back to the left side, get the ball to Jamin Salmon, and he just has to get that pass right out to find Rinakama. He's unmarked and easy as you like, and you're right, Will Warbrick tried everything he possibly could do to stretch that arm out and knock it down, but just couldn't do enough. And the Bulldogs back on the scoreboard, 20-16, kick to come.
Touchline, John Gibbs.
Doesn't it make a difference to the Bulldogs side when Matt Burton runs the ball? We've seen him kick the ball more often tonight, but it's been his running that's been a feature, and that was a really good run, a sliding run. He got past them all. He was brought down by a really good last tackle by Suafar Longo, but what about the play the ball? Sherry did a good job too, good ball, but the play the ball by Burton after his tackle was fantastic. Got to his feet, clean play the ball. Galvin took it to the correct side, then the pass to Salmon, the missed knockdown by Warbrick, good try by Jethro.
So now the conversion attempt, Gibbsy, from Matt Burton, 23 metres out, 9 metres in from the eastern touchline. 20 points to 16 to Melbourne. We're in for a good final quarter of this game. And we'll take the tight ones, Louis, when we can get them.
I was about to say, this is our closest game that we've called together.
I reckon Saturday with Cowboys Roosters was good, 18-12, but they're few and far between. But here it's only 4 the difference. Matt Burton, 8 in from touch on the eastern side. He's kicked so far 2 from 2. Left foot kick, Matt Burton, keeps the headgear on. Melbourne standing patiently on the goal line to get to within 2. Here comes Burton with the left boot. He strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. Matt Burton gets it to a 2-point ball game. He's 3 out of 3. Melbourne 20, Canterbury Bankstown 18 here at Stadium Australia. Around the grounds in the AFL third quarter, Richmond 57 leading Essendon 35. Second quarter, St Kilda 33 in Perth leading Fremantle 31. 2 second half tries to the Waratahs in the rugby, but it's just gone full time, and the Brumbies have beaten the Waratahs 21 points to 14. Your text on 0467 920 222. Watching on from Germany with my pals Cloud and Felipe. First game of NRL for the Chileans. Hope the doggies get it done for them. Good on you, Nathan. Hello, Felipe. And hello, Cloud. Up the Cowboys on the weekend, said Joy. Great call, chaps. I really like Louis, but not at origin time. Lols from Queensland to Bretto at Ipswich. 0467 920 222. As Canterbury have it from the kickoff, 12 out from their own line. It comes open side right. Another good run there by Bronson Sherry. Put to the ground, 24 out from his own line. Then got a bit of a shove and a set restart going against Josh King. So a set restart for Canterbury, their 5th of the night. Up over their 30, Haywood. Goes right, Galvin. Turns it into Hayes. Knocked to the deck, 10 metres short of halfway. He'll play the ball to Haywood. Centre field left to Galvin. Plays out the back to Burton. Turns it back on the inside. And they've heard you, Louis. There's Sherry again. Taken on halfway. 18 in from the eastern touchline. They come right to Galvin. Hands it off on the inside to Jack Underhill. Wrap around ball back to his left to Salmon. Great ball and all tackled by Mini. 3 metres in Melbourne territory. 15 in from touch eastern side. Haywood sends it right away to Max King. Bounce through Josh King into McDonald. Then got the pass away to Haywood. They send it right to Manure. And to Manure, great catch tackle by Keegan Russell Smith down low. 32 out from the Melbourne line on the last. Comes left to Matt Burton. Up goes the towering kick. Su'a-Fa'alongo coming in for it. Great catch again by Su'a. He's got it for Melbourne. 16 out from his own line. 22 minutes to play. Melbourne 20. Canterbury banks down 18 as now the Storm Leo. He goes across field left to right to Warbrick. Spins in the tackle of Sherry and put to the ground finally. 17 out from the Melbourne line. He can do it all, the little number 1, can't he, for Melbourne?
Yeah, he's doing everything right, isn't he? He looks so sharp with the ball in his hand, but his defence has been amazing tonight. And he's been outstanding under the high ball as well. He attacks every kick that's end over end, and he gets up nice and high above everyone. But Melbourne look a little bit frazzled at the moment.
Stefano Utugamanu back on the field. He plays it and it comes right to Fa'alongo. Wrapped up 9 short of halfway. Bring up the last. Utugamanu on for Mawali. Kick downfield by Jerome Hughes. Back goes Carraz with the catch. 8 metres out from his own line. Should get back to the 20. Dumbing the pass. Does get to the 20. And he's surrounded by Melbourne chasers. 20 out from his own line. Josh King among them. Melbourne 20. Canterbury banks down 18. 19 gone second half. Carraz gets up blowing up about the treatment he got from Keegan Russell Smith in the tackle. Bulldogs outside their 20 now and play 2. Montoya plays. It comes right in Ari Tuana. Runs into Leo. Wrapped up with help from Howard. 15 short of halfway. Played to Howard. Goes from dummy half. Sends it left to Montoya to Galvin. Then away to support as Canterbury get just short of halfway through Harry Hayes. Plays at midfield to Haywood. Sends the ball away right edge Carraz. Carraz another offload to Haywood. Goes left to Galvin. Flat pass at best to Burton in the way. Straight through them over the 30. Fa'alongo to beat. Oh, strike saver. Su'a-Fa'alongo 8 metres out. Last tackle. Melbourne at 6s and 7s. Played to Galvin. Comes to the right Underhill. Links up now with a kick over the top. Set restart it is, but the kick is taken by Moses Leo, meaning a penalty to Canterbury. Melbourne inside the 10. Canterbury will get a chance to level the score. And they're fired up too. Don't worry about that. 20 minutes gone, 20 minutes left second half. Melbourne 20, Canterbury banks down 18. But I feel like, Luke Lewis, it's about to be all level.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be all level. I'll take the 2 here, get back to 20 all. 20 minutes left on the clock. And I think the Bulldogs know exactly the blueprint to get the win now. All they've got to do is keep laying to the middle or laying to the right and going straight back to that left side with Matty Burton and Bronson Sherry, and they'll have an absolute field day. They've got the Melbourne Storm absolutely bamboozled over that right edge.
Daniel's going great guns too, Gibbs. And I do not love him at fullback normally. Jacob Carraz, what about his offloads?
Yeah, well, that's what he brings, Andrew. And I'm not saying I told you so, but he was always going to make impact because he allows the chance for second phase play, and they've really had no spark since he's been out, and that has certainly added to that. But Matt Burton's running has been a feature. Now, a real problem for the Melbourne Storm, and it's been a mix of reasons why this happened. They've already got their 7th interchange on the field, so they've only got 1 left. And that's not a very good situation because there's still 19 minutes to go and the game in a moment will be levelled up. So that's a real problem. Maybe some game time shortly for Jed Reardon, making his debut, hopefully. He's a centre or back row for the Bulldogs, the son of the great Steve Reardon, who, of course, played a lot of football here with the Bulldogs. So let's hope Jed gets on.
Yeah, he was a Bulldog stalwart in the 90s. Steve Reardon. Here's Matt Burton, 11 out, just to the right of the post. Penalty shot to level the scores at 20. Left foot kick to maintain his perfect record for the evening. With his left boot, he makes no mistake, he kicks the goal. He is 4 out of 4, and And it is 20 all. Canterbury, Bankstown and Melbourne. NRL Friday on ABC Sport with a tick over 18 minutes to go. Around the grounds, AFL third quarter. And Richmond 57, Richmond 57, leading Essendon 37. Second quarter, St Kilda 39, just ahead of Fremantle 37. Text line 0467 920 222. Loving the call. Burton has really stepped up tonight and made the difference for the Dogs. That's Tony from Parks. Hey team, new to the NRL, can you please explain that last penalty against Moses Leo? Now I've got to remember it. It's Moses Leo.
Which one was it?
I don't know. I've just read you exactly what was written to him.
Yes, I can't remember which one it was.
Well, Gibbsy's got a much better memory than us. I don't know whether he remembers that particular tackle. Here's the kick taken by Rinakama. He goes right to Underhill. Caught 14 out from his own goal line. Great show. Usually only Lawn on radio. I love the delay on the TV. Makes it easy to process the speed of the game. Here's the Bulldogs up to their own 20. Loving the coverage. Ben here on the Clarence River. Go the Dogs. How come the radio broadcast is delayed to Channel 9? I love listening to you guys, and sometimes when there is free-to-air show on TV. There is a slight delay built in to the TV broadcast, but if you're listening on digital, there will be a delay. If you go onto the ABC Listen app or ABC Listen, hit ABC Rapid, and that delay will go. It's amazing. Here's Tuala, who's dragged to the ground for Canterbury. 5 metres in Melbourne's territory by Leo. Played on the last. Galvin goes left. Short ball to Burton. Sets himself. Didn't quite get the spiral he was looking for. Failongo runs into it. Takes it and smash to the ground. Hit with everything by Marcelo Montoya. 19 out from the Melbourne line. Played to Russell Smith. He goes right to Houth and he's bullied by Tumanure and King. Sent back inside his own 10. Canterbury really aiming up at the moment. 20 all the score. 16 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Here at Stadium Australia is now the Storm on play 3. 12 out from their own line. They've lost it. Tumanure goes right. Montoya's taken 10 out. Warbrick lost the footy again for Melbourne.
They got 2 outside post.
Haywood goes left to Galvin. Links up with Burton that way. Then to Sherry. Straight past a dreadful tackle attempt. Now put to the ground by Hughes. 7 metres out after an awful miss from Meany. He played the ball to Rimakana. Goes right to Burton. Back on the inside to Underhill. He bounces away from 1. Bounces away from 2 and falls over. And he lost the ball, Jack Underhill. He done everything right. They've blown an opportunity, Canterbury, after Will Warbrick dropped the footy. And this pressure might get to both teams here in this last quarter hour or so, with the scoreline locked at 20 apiece.
Well, they had him shot there. They just took too long on the ground. They had to get up for a quick play the ball. You know, he had Suafalongo come up with that big take, but that hit that was on Suafalongo. But I tell you what I loved about it, he just bounced straight back up, didn't push or shove, just took his medicine. But the Bulldogs, I reckon they blew that opportunity there. They just had to get a quick long pass out to Bronson Sherry. It would have been a 2-on-1 with about 15 metres to play.
So what do you reckon the crowd figure is roughly here?
I'm going to say 14,000 something.
Okay, officially 14,372.
What a guess.
Melbourne on their 20. This is play 2 now as it comes open side right, and the tackle completed 29 out from the Melbourne line. Ball played to Trent Tolau back on the field. It goes right to Utuigamanu. Wrapped up mid-quarter halfway. Melbourne side of things. Southern end of the ground. Now it comes to the left edge to Josh King. He's felled 8 short of halfway. Out of dummy half Tolau. And the tackle offloaded back to Josh King. He straightens into Max King and Jamin Salmon. Still going. Finally put to the ground. 2 metres in Canterbury Bankstown territory. On the last, Tolau goes right. Here's the kick. Charged down by Underhill. Can he regather it ahead of Hughes? He does. Great effort by this young front row for the Sunny Coast. Brilliant effort. And now it's deemed a knock on. Oh, he did everything right, Jack Underhill. We go to the touchline. Hang on.
Second effort, go away. Second effort, try go away.
That's like Gibbsy talking to Louis.
Captain's challenge.
I would never go.
Lucky, where the ball was kicked on 5 and charged down, so we're coming into 1. The on-field ruling is knocked on by Jack on the ground. They believe he kicked possession.
As Jed Reardon comes on the field for Jack Underhill for his debut. Lovely to see the son of Steve Reardon, and getting a standing O, John Gibbs, is this youngster Jack Underhill.
Yeah, he's done a good job, and hopefully he knows what he's doing here. He's still got his arm around it, and he's going backwards. I think he's going to win the challenge. He's looking intent. He's just come off the field.
Jack gets his left hand underneath the ball
and kicks it there.
And secures it with his right arm. At no point
good
is
work,
it a
Jack.
loss of possession.
So there you go. So the Dogs will have the ball, and they've used they're up to their 6 interchange and 7 still for Melbourne. So they've only got 1 left. Actually, Jack's going to come back on because you've got to play it. Because when the challenge happened, they've made the change.
Yeah, so Underhill's running back on the field to play the ball. That looks bizarre.
What a shambles.
20 all, 14 minutes to go, and he also did really well to stay in the field to play Underhill. He was very close to the eastern touchline. But a great effort. Jed Reardon remains out there. Leo Thompson came from the field so Underhill could go back on. And then there'll be a swap see after he plays it.
Just go up the other side, Jack.
He plays the ball now, does Underhill to Salmon, and it comes right to Rinakama. Thompson comes on, Underhill goes off. And now Canterbury 38 out from the goal line. Hayward sends it right to Max King. Remembering Melbourne led 18-6 at half-time against the team that had lost 5 in a row. Bulldogs 32 away, Max King plays it. Comes right, Galvin away to Thompson. And Leo beats the first. They're missing a lot of tackles at the moment, Melbourne. That time was Toalau, taken by Russell Smith. And also in there for the Melbourne Storm, Kamiu Tugamanu. They work it short side right through Carraz. He's felled 12 out from the line. Last tackle, Canterbury. Scores lock at 20, Hayward. Centre field left to Galvin. Puts it on the toe. Good depth on it to the in-goal area. Warbrick gets there. Picks it up cleanly on the half volley. Then grounds it in goal. Goal line drop out Melbourne. Canterbury 20, Melbourne 20. 13 minutes, 15 to play.
Well, I just love the Bulldogs' energy at the moment.
They've got all the energy.
They've got all the energy. They're running hard. They're running direct. They look like they're playing for each other. So they've definitely got the Melbourne Storm rattled. And for me, Melbourne look a little bit lost. So if they can get some points here, the Bulldogs, I reckon that's almost your famous words coming.
Suafa Longo, the line dropouts too deep again, taken by retreating Rinakama. 27 out from the line, caught 23 out. That's where he will play the ball. Bailey Hayward awaits a dummy half. He sends it open side right to Reardon. Can't believe I called his old man, now I'm calling his son. 19 out, Hayward. Goes right, terrible pass. Good hand by Galvin, tumbling to the ground as he takes it. 20 out from the Melbourne goal line. Is it too early for a Burton field goal, I wonder? Hayward goes right. Carraz turns it on the inside to Satili Tupanua. He's tackled 13 out from the Melbourne line. Scores locked at 20 with 12 and a quarter to go. Hayward sends the ball left to Galvin. He plays out the back to a running Burton. Burton beats one, taken by Hughes. 2 metres out from the goal line. Last play. Dummy half Hayward. Goes right, Galvin. Puts it on the toe. Bounces off a Melbourne player. 6 more for Canterbury as they recoup it through Reardon. 5 metres out from the line. They must score, Canterbury. Played to Hayward. Dummies goes himself and wastes a tackle. Caught a metre or 2 out. Between the southern posts. Now they work it right. Galvin to Tupanua. Lost it. Scooped up by Suafa Longo for Melbourne on the goal line. And he's taken 9 out from his own line. Opportunity lost. Blue and whites. 20 all the score. 11 minutes 30 left in the game as Tupanua spilt it.
I just can't work out the Bulldogs sometimes. They've had the blueprint going left. And I know Matty Burton's run it a few times. Just go early ball to Bronson Sherry. Every time he gets the ball, he's breaking tackles. And he's got 15, 20 metres to working it over there, one-on-one against his opposition number. So, yeah, silly play by the Dogs at the moment.
So it's Melbourne with it, 32 out from the goal line. Dummy half Toalau. He sends a left edge now away to Chan. Good strong run. Claimed 8 short of halfway. Good quick play the ball. They go short side left. Toalau to Russell Smith. Then away to Howard. Tupanua muscles him over the touchline. Great tackle, Satili Tupanua. And I thought Gibbsy might end up over the touchline as well as it came left for the Melbourne Storm. That is great defence, John Gibbs from Canterbury.
Yeah, beautiful defence there. Now, Cooper Clark is coming on. No, they've said hold your fire. Now he is going to come on. Alec McDonald's coming off. So that's their 8th and final interchange, Andrew. So it's rare that you see over 10 minutes to go in a half. They've used all their interchanges, Melbourne. They're tied. All the energy is with the Bulldogs. So what that means, if there was another injury now, bad luck, they'd have to play a man down.
No, we just go down for HIA, Gibbsy. They'll just go down, go HIA.
No, don't be so cynical, Louis. What's happened
to
you?
How it works.
Everyone knows. Go short side left to Salmon. He's taken 6 short of halfway. That's one thing that's changed in you since 2019. You've become cynical. Here's Burton. Sends it off the inside to Max King. He's caught on halfway. 20 in from touch, eastern side. Not like the old days where, was it, who was the Manly player? Was it Paul Shaw that used to have the blood tablets, Johnny, from Manly and Bob Fulton?
Yeah, that was him, the young halfback from Wellington, New South Wales. He was a good player, Paulie.
He was a very exciting player. As Canterbury go right, Galvin away to Jacob Carraz, and Russell Smith's down low. Howarth over the top. 30 out for the Melbourne line. Last tackle Bulldogs. Comes left, Galvin puts up the kick from 32 metres out. Su'Afalongo under it. Leaps into the air and comes down with it. He gets hammered too by the chase of Salmon and Reardon. 11 out from his own goal line. Sounded like a seafood dish, didn't it? Comes to the right for Melbourne. They're on their own 20 with 9 minutes 14 to go on a 20-all score.
What's that? Hammered salmon.
That's Salmon Reardon. Is now they're 25 out for their own line. Melbourne work it left to Stefano Utuigamanu. He's scored 13 short of halfway by Galvin. Good pick play the ball. Good pick up one-handed Taulau. He goes on a circling run into the defence of Inari Tuala and Jed Redmond, Bailey Hayward. 1 metre short of halfway. Last tackle Storm. They cannot get good field position right now. Hughes a midfield roost. Backtracking Renakama with the catch. 17 out from his own line. Heads up over the 20 and nailed. 25 out from his own goal line. 20 all the score, 8.5 to go. The one thing counting against Canterbury here, Louis, is Sherry's caught outside his 30, is a lack of confidence. They've lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's right. They haven't got all the confidence in the world, but they should have because they're playing good football at the moment. I'll be pushing up a lot with this bloke at the moment. There's another offload from Carraz, and this is where they're causing a lot of damage and putting a lot of fatigue into the Melbourne outfit. Those offloads are killing them.
It was Montoya who beat Taulau, caught 10 short of halfway. Now, right edge, Max King. Wrapped up just short of halfway. He'll play the footy now to Hayward. Spins it away, centre field left Galvin. Out the back, Burt. Show and go, and he beats the first man yet again. Finally taken by Utuigamanu and Hughes. 31 out for the Melbourne line. Last tackle, Canterbury. Galvin the kick from 32 metres out. Heading towards the western side of the field, and Leo. The ball from Leap, and Leo's knocked back. Failongo's in the right spot. When isn't he? And he's tackled 5 out from his own goal line. Failongo's been perfect under the high ball, Louis. Moses Leo looked about a 1 out of 1,000 chance of catching that, but it bounced perfectly to Failongo as Melbourne take it just outside their 10.
He did, but at least he went up and had a crack.
Oh, Melbourne lose it. That can't be Warbrick again. You can't have 20 funds. It comes out for the Bulldogs. They spread it left to Renakama, and he's over the corner. It could be minus 1,000 degrees and Will Warbrick wouldn't catch a cold. 7 minutes 10 to go. Bulldogs in front. Canterbury Banks down 24. Melbourne 20. The try to Jethro Renakama.
Yeah, that was Will Warbrick. He's probably going to have a night that he's going to want to forget for sure. He's had a couple of big drops coming out of his own end. It probably wasn't the best pass there, but you still need to catch it in these conditions. But good, quick thinking there from the Bulldogs. As soon as the ball hits the ground, they're just picked up by Salmon, straight out to Bronson Sherry. He sums it up perfectly, doesn't overplay his hand, gives it to Renakama, dives over in the corner, and there's 24-20 kick to come, and 6.5 minutes left on the clock. By the time they kick off, we'll be down to 4 minutes 30.
Okay, nice prediction. Renakama's second of the game. 24-20 to the Bulldogs. The first time, John Gibbs, they've been in front all night.
Yeah, no, for the last couple of months, Andrew. Jamin Salmon here is going off to the sideline. He's going to have a dislocated finger. It's a bad one, though. They've had a couple of cracks at putting it back in. And you know how salmon swim upstream? I don't think it's right because it's Melbourne swimming upstream and salmon's on the other side. I want to stick up for Will Warbrick, though, because he was ruled out. They told us that he was going to be in a game with ribs. He's had a needle at half time, and obviously that's wearing off. And running in with a broken rib or rib cartilage damage is pretty tough. I know that he has made a meal of it and put his side under pressure, but I've got to defend him a little bit.
Renakama is down injured after scoring his second try beyond the touch in goal line. Matt Burton's been getting treatment. Jamin Salmon running on after getting a dislocated finger put back in. Ouch! And they're dropping like flies. 6 minutes 53 still to go. Canterbury Banks down 24, Melbourne 20. And Matt Burton will attempt a conversion right out on that eastern touchline.
We've got stoppage in play too at the moment.
That's because of Renakama's injury, I assume.
Yeah. So we're not going to get down to 4 minutes 30. It's going to stay at 5 minutes and 53 seconds left on the clock.
It is for now. But we can round down for you, Louis. I think it's only cramp for Renakama. He's off there in the distance, getting treatment from the trainer. Looks like Canterbury's about to make another interchange. Matt Burton has been perfect with the boot and been great with running the football as well. Kurt Mannert is about to come back on for the Bulldogs. Here's Burton, 24 metres out, a metre in from touch on the eastern side. 4 from 4, his goal-kicking prowess tonight. For a fifth. Right on the touchline for a 6-point lead. 24-20 Bulldogs. Burton moves in with a left boot. He strikes it, heading towards the post. Away across the face. No goal. His first miss. So the score remains Canterbury Bankstown 24, Melbourne 20. NRL Friday here on ABC Sport. Rennie Karma's coming from the field, by the way, beyond that dead ball line at the southern end of the ground. Around the grounds, AFL three-quarter time. Richmond by 2 goals over Essendon, 58-46. Half-time, St Kilda 45, leading Fremantle 44. On the text line, 0467 920 222. David says, why did it take 45 seconds before the clock was stopped just then? Well, that's the time allowed, David, for a goal kick before they do stop the clock. Here's the kick-off, and Galvin sends it left away to King. Tackles 17 out from his own line. Can Dennis make his song of the week to the tune of Stevie Wonder's My Cherie Amour? About Bronson Sherry, asked Pete from Townsville. I think Dennis has got it under control this time, if not fully prepared at this stage, but I'll pass it on, Pete. Here's Canterbury on its own 30-metre line, comes right Carraz. He's scored 9 short of halfway. Tell you what Melbourne has not had in this last 15 minutes or so is any sort of field position, and they're going to need it in these last 5 minutes. Thompson tackled 2 metres short of halfway for Canterbury, played to Hayward on the last, goes right, Galvin the kick downfield. Failongo underneath it with the catch, 11 out from his own goal line, heads towards the 20, hop, skip and a jump. Oh, great chase, great tackle, brings him down. That was Burton, 16 out from the Melbourne goal line. Play to Hughes, goes right, hold your breath, Warbrick with it. He's tackled 21 out from his own line, but this time he holds onto the footy, the warrior to be. Now comes centre field left for Melbourne's Mini. He got through Thompson into Hayward and Mann, and a one-hander away to Suafa-Longo. But he's cut to the ground there by Salmon, 34 out from his own line. Tuolo goes to the left side to Bloor. He's caught 9 short of halfway. 4 tackles into the set for Melbourne. 4 minutes 20 to play. Canterbury Bankstown 24, Melbourne 20. It comes open side right now for Melbourne's Chan. He's wrapped up just inside Canterbury's half. Played on the last tackle. It comes to the right to Jerome Hughes. Sent it down to Carraz. Carraz, a great catch. Got away easily from Will Warbrick, but there might have been a Shepherd. There wasn't. It's obstruction. It's a penalty going to the Melbourne Storm. Wowzers. So that's what Melbourne needed. There is a challenge from Canterbury. Tell us about it, White.
On-field ruling is Anari runs an escort and takes Will Warbrick out of the contest.
3 minutes 51 to go. Canterbury Bankstown 24, Melbourne 20. On-field ruling. An obstruction there effectively by Nari Tuala. And it'll be that would be a penalty to the Storm, 20 out or less from the Bulldogs line. Did Tuala run Warbrick off the ball?
Well, I'm not saying that. He's not even looking at it. I always look at the head here. He is moving in with him. He's not even
run here of Nari. He's required to go directly back to the ball.
Does not even look at him.
I don't know.
I reckon. I would say no.
No penalty. What about you, John Gibbs?
I would say no. Yeah, look, I see 6 in the game that are worse than that. The one in the first half was Sherry. You can see change direction. But Anari Tuala hasn't that. And also, Will Warbrick stopped. I mean, fair dinkum. And this is overreach by the bar. Look, he ran into Will Warbrick, initiated contact.
No clear obstruction.
Yeah, they'll correct it. They'll get it right on this occasion. So see with fingers and toes crossed.
Well,
there's a penalty blown now for a mutual infringement. The captain's challenge will be successful.
So it will be no penalty. Successful challenge for the Bulldogs. Now we can all relax. So the penalty count remains 4-1 to Melbourne. Huge overrule from the bunker, and they got it right. It'll be a Canterbury ball, 20 out for their own line, leading 24-20, 3 minutes 50 to play.
Oh, we would have had the game back underway about a minute ago, Andrew, but they finally got there. You've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Melbourne Storm need to force an error and come up with a huge play. I can't see it happening.
So now Canterbury just inside their 30. Tackle made here on the front rower. Thompson played to Hayward, goes right to Max King. Strong run. King needs 3 defenders to bring him down on his own 40. Midway through the tackle count, Hayward goes left to Salmon, who's been busy for Canterbury, and he works his way to within a metre of halfway. Tackle finally by Josh King. Played to Hayward, short ball right to Carraz, steps into Toalau. Standing in the tackle, and Cooper Clark in there as well, held 38 out on the last. Galvin the kick from 35 metres out to Sua Falongo coming through to Manua. Oh, he lost it, Falongo. He was caught in mid-air. It comes back down for Canterbury. The pass goes left away to Burton. Burton's going to be taken 10 out. A chance for Canterbury to wrap it up. The first drop there from Sua Falongo. Now Hayward goes right to Carraz. Carraz takes him on himself, beats one, he's over to score. For the first time in 6 weeks. Game, set, bingo. The Bulldogs are going to win. Canterbury Bankstown 28, Melbourne 20. The try to Jacob Carraz with a strong run against tiring defence Luke Lewis right up the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really good work there from the Bulldogs. The whole set, nice kick, great kick pressure from Montoya. It just depends as he come back on that and say that they've taken him out on the kick. I can't see how that's going to happen. But, it was pretty dangerous there on Sua Falongo. But that is good work there by Jacob Carraz. I think he's been outstanding tonight, Jacob, at fullback. And when he gets an opportunity, just one off the ruck, just runs across field, uses his strength. Nice little bit of change of direction, comes off that left foot and slides through some tight defence. Brilliant work from the Doggies.
I haven't seen the replay, but I thought live Falongo was taken out in the air. But it was play on. Canterbury scored. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, I'm going to say they can't go to it because there's been a play the ball after that, right? I reckon that Matt Burton knew there could be danger, impending danger if he went over and scored. It might have been taken off them. I reckon he's come up with a really smart play. He's come down, he's taken the pass, he's taken the tackle, should I say, to play the ball. They stretched him, Carraz has scored. I reckon that was dangerous play. Montoya put Falongo in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, I'm seeing a replay now. Up went Falongo, Reardon Montoya.
I've seen go for 10 minutes for that.
That's a penalty every single game of the year. Every single game of the year, that should have been a penalty to Melbourne. It should be no try to Canterbury. But it is 2 minutes 10 to go, and yet again we've got to go on with the crap about talking about the bloody bunker every day. Fair dinkum. This is a great game of footy that's ruined by the bunker. Here's Burton kicking the goal. He slots it over, and it's now Canterbury Bankstown 30, Melbourne 20, with inside 2 minutes to go. It's so disheartening, Louis. I stick up for the refs, I stick up for the bunker, I stick up for the system, and they jam it up your buttocks like they just did then. It's not good enough.
It's not good enough, and we've seen it 1,000 times. That get pulled up. I don't understand how that actually just slips through to the keeper. So another one that we're going to be sitting there listening to about the bunker making another boo-boo.
Here's the kick-off from Melbourne. Still, I think Canterbury deserve this win. Their second half's been brilliant. Short kick-off, up they fly. The ball knocked on by Canterbury into the body of Bailey Hayward, accidental offside. Melbourne a scrum feed 32 out from the goal line with 1:45 to go. So, another challenge.
Lucky on-field ruling is first knock on Bulldogs, then Melbourne. Bulldogs challenging.
So, Gibbs, if we had the argument we had on Monday night, I might have been on your side now.
Yeah, no, the only thing I'll say about that, Andrew, and you're right, the bunker could come and say that, but that was up to White Raymond probably on field to say something. Then the bunker could look at it. So,
just need direction.
But Matt Burton has come up, I'm sure, and I said this straight away down here to Ralph and Dave Boyle is down here helping the referees out. Matt Burton has taken the tackle because he realises that if they go and look at it, they might get a penalty against them.
Into the hand of Will Warbrick.
This is Chris Butler in the bunker. And what Jonty said, by the way, is right. Because there was play on, I'm not actually sure what the bunker could do.
It's hit backwards.
But there's a referee and 2 touch judges.
Bailey.
Open your damn eyes.
Well, we all see the same play
Touches the arm.
at the exact same time. And right at the start, I thought the way that he landed and the way that he flipped, he got contact maybe.
Meanwhile, there's this challenge that doesn't mean much.
The captain's challenge is successful.
So the Bulldogs win another challenge. They're leading the game 30 points to 20. Luke Lewis, John Gibbs, Andrew Moore here with you on NRL Friday with 1:42 to go. And it will be a scrum feed for Canterbury. Text 0467 920 222. Congratulations to Gibbsy, but Storm should have won, says Rowdy Andy. Paul in Wollongong says the damn bunker, blow it up. We all, well said, Andrew. We all love you to rip it into them. All we want is the truth, says Paul in Brisbane. Gibbo played you two like fiddles with those morsels. Nice dipping, says Luca. You may be right, too smart for us, says Jonty. He's learned a lot since he turned 70. Here's Tupanua in a push and shove with Utoka Manu. And players come from everywhere. Time off with 1:19 to go. And Canterbury leading 30 points to 20. So, I'll sort this out. Louis, this is like an NBA game the last 5 minutes here.
Yeah, it is. It always seems to go for about it says a minute on the clock, but it goes for 7 or 8 minutes.
So now Tupanua will play it while Raymond just cautions on the run. Let's get on with it. The push and shove between Utoka Manu and Tupanua. It wasn't a headbutt, it was a shoulder butt really from both of them. As now Canterbury take it just inside Melbourne's territory. What a much needed win for them. Hayward sends it left to Kurt Mann. He scored 10 metres in Melbourne Storm territory. 30 to 20. Bulldogs lead the Storm. A minute to go. Hayward to the left to Jamin Salmon. Fell 31 out from the Melbourne line. 15 in from the eastern touch line. Last tackle. Hayward. Short side left to Burton. He'll just run it himself. And geez, been good. Caught on his own, on the 20-metre line of Melbourne. Change over. Melbourne get the footy back with 40 seconds to go, trailing 30 points to 20. And Burton will get very slowly to his feet. Just rolls the ball away to Trent To'olau. Plays it to Jerome Hughes. Goes left to Suafa'alongo. But Tupanua all over him. He's been great too, hasn't he? So Tilly Tupanua will get Louis' ABC Player of the Year points after the game. And we've got a little song to celebrate with you Canterbury fans as well. As Melbourne, 19 out from their own line. If I was you, I'd be in the car park. I'd be honking my horn. Here's the Storm taking it towards their own 30. With 13 seconds to go, Utoka Manu tackle. Plays to To'olau. He sends it left away. Josh King, then to Russell Smith. Cut out ball to Moses Leo. But straight past Montoya down the touchline. Steps in field through Carraz. Now caught 30 metres out. Time has expired. And the Canterbury Bankstown fans stand as one. The Bulldogs have beaten Melbourne 30 points to 20. A very tough fought game here at Stadium Australia. The Bulldogs win 30 points to 20 to perhaps get their season back on track. They score 5 tries to 3 for Canterbury, and Ari Tuala a try in the 19th minute. Satili Tupanua in the 43rd. Jethro Rinakama in the 56th and 73rd minutes. Jacob Carraz in the 78th. Matt Burton has kicked 5 goals from 6 attempts, 5 restarts, 3 successful challenges. For Melbourne tries to Moses Leo in the 4th and 14th minute. Josh King in the 25th. No points in the second half. Well, no tries for Melbourne. They got 2 points from a penalty goal. Nick Meaney 4 from 4. 1 restart, 1 successful challenge. Penalties in the end finished 4-1 in favour of Melbourne, and the scoreline to Canterbury 30 to 20. Heck of a fight back, Louis, from a Bulldogs team with zero confidence, having lost 5 in a row.
Oh, absolutely. Down on confidence. 18-6 at half time. Wasn't a whole lot going for them, but I think they learnt their lesson in the first half there, and where they had to go and attack, they got that attack right, and they got a great win.
Well, Bronson Sherry amongst the key players in attack for Canterbury is down there with you, John Gibbs.
Yeah, Bronson Sherry. Well, it's been a long time coming, Bronson, but that must be a real relief.
Yeah, massive. That's a huge win for us. We've been working so hard. We've been training so hard for this, and we've been putting in the effort, but we just haven't been putting it on game, and it was a relief to put it out here tonight.
And when you fell behind at the start of the game, the circumstances of that second try to Moses Leo when Jacob tried to stop the 40-20, there was no one there. You must have thought, oh no, it's happening again.
Yeah, no, look, I fell off again. No, I believe in the boys, man. We just trusted the system, the process, and we backed ourselves. And I'm so happy for us, man. We worked so hard for this, and yeah.
And it was a really good second half effort because slippery conditions, the rain sort of went away a bit, but it was slippery, and your ball handling was pretty good.
Yeah, no, credit to our boys, man. We the weather obviously wasn't the best for us, but we cut our angles and we're playing through them, and it worked.
And you were running hard, and they had a couple of changes out in the centres, created a couple of opportunities for you.
Yeah, I'm loving it at the minute. I'm getting early ball, and I'm just backing myself. So I'm just running off, the good players that we got in our team.
And Bronson, there was a few late changes to your side. There's been a little bit of a change up, and it seemed to make the difference. Jacob Carraz at fullback, he's been out for over a month. It was great, and his second phase play just gives you another option.
Yeah, we've missed him so much. He's that second phase, that offloads that he brings to us, helps us so much, and he killed it.
And got the 2 points, which gave you a real great chance.
Yeah, for sure. We pride ourselves on our defence, and that's what we've been lacking lately. And look, we're proud of ourselves, but on to the next.
Which is the West Tigers at Western Sydney Stadium next Saturday. See you there.
That's it. Can't wait.
Yeah, Bronson Sherry at a blinder, speaking down there with John Gibbs. Canterbury Bankstown 30, beat Melbourne Storm 20. We're with you for another half hour or so on NRL Friday, and more reaction to come down on the field of play. In fact, let's get down to you again, John Gibbs.
Yeah, Jed Reardon. We spoke about Jed when he was coming on to make his debut, the son of a great player for the Bulldogs, Steve Reardon. Well, Jed, you're the lucky charm. You'll be saying you can't go without me again.
Yeah, I hope so. Nah, I loved it. It's obviously been a dream since I was 4 or 5 years old. And to do it for the Bulldogs and my family come down. So, yeah, so grateful to be a part of it.
And what sort of interaction have you had with your dad on the eve of your first grade debut tonight?
Yeah, he doesn't really say too much, which I like. There's sort of no real pressure on me. He knows that I know what I need to do, and he gave me a call this over and just said good luck. So,
and Jed, you got quite a few minutes out there at the end, and the game was in the balance. Were you nervous? How did you feel?
Yeah, no, it was good. Ciro just said go on and just run round, and he's got belief in me. So that's all that matters.
And you've been watching all of this unfold. It's been a tough couple of months for the club.
Yeah, it has been. But the boys are unreal. They've stayed positive around the club, and everyone believes that the change is coming, and hopefully tonight's the start of it.
And just going along that line of the Bulldogs, your dad plays, you make your debut tonight, you come out of a rut. It was the 2000th premiership game for the Bulldogs. Yeah. So you played your first in Canterbury's 2000s. How cool is that?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty special. I did see that stat this morning, it's a special game to be a part of, and to come away with the win, it just makes it all so better.
Well done, mate. Congratulations on your NRL debut.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I love that. Jed Reardon on debut is all over one of Gibbsy's morsels. He really is now an accomplished NRL player. 30-20, Bulldogs defeat the Storm here at Stadium Australia, and a really well-deserved win by Canterbury. They owned that second half. And yes, there were some decisions from the officials that you could argue, but the one thing I don't think you can argue is that the better team won, and that was Canterbury Bankstown after a 5-game slide. And Melbourne, having broken recently a 7-game losing streak with a couple of wins on the trot against West Tigers and Parramatta, now go down to Canterbury, and they'll be feeling like they've got to start again, albeit without their origin stars, of course, Cam Munster, Harry Grant, Trent Liero. So I suppose, Louis, when that happens and you're without your star players, it's a little bit easier to shrug off, but they'd be disappointed, especially having led 18-6.
They'll be absolutely shattered, to be fair. They were leading 18-6. They had the game in the bag. They looked nice, calm, patient with their game plan. Second half, it didn't work. Poor Will Warbrick has a night that he'd like to forget as well. So anyway, it is what it is. They've got a couple of bucks. We've got little Gibbsy waving his arm out.
His arm's about to fall off. Down to you, John Gibbs.
Well, this man's in heavy demand. Matt Burton, well, that's a relief. It's been a tough time but you came out of it really well, particularly in the second half. It was a good effort after being behind at half time.
Yeah, 100%. Feel like we've been building to that for a few weeks. We just haven't been getting the scoreboard right. And big rap to our young boys tonight. They ripped in and had a crack, and it's just good to get the result for them boys. Obviously, young Rito under boost, special night for him, and we just had full belief the whole time. So proud of the boys.
Now, there's no doubt that tonight you ran more and you kicked more. It's like you were having an NFL audition tonight. You got your boot to the ball. You were sending us skywards.
Yeah, I think it just clicked for us tonight. We've been building for it a few weeks, and it just clicked tonight, I feel. So, real proud of the boys.
Yeah, now, what about the conditions? How did you find it out there? It was a little bit slippery, but the rain went away. It was okay?
Yeah, it doesn't worry us. We just stick to what we do and play our footy.
Matt Burton, well done.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, Matt Burton, the Canterbury 5'8", speaking there with John Gibbs. Canterbury Bankstown 30, Melbourne 20. Friday night footy here on ABC Sport. And Gibbsy will shortly rejoin us back in the broadcast box. It looks like they're checking for one more down there. So we'll be patiently waiting and then get Luke Lewis's ABC Player of the Year points. For a dominant second half by Canterbury, Melbourne led 18-6 at the break. The crowd 14,372. Not too bad when you consider the weather. This time of year, the crowds can take a little bit of a dip with State of Origin on and Origin stars not running around. And obviously the Canterbury faithful are great supporters. They come out in big numbers, but on this Friday night, having lost 5 in a row against an out-of-town team, I guess their loyalty to dig deep into their pockets was tested, and just under 15,000, not too bad a result. But they'll be more than happy with the result of the game. Canterbury winning by 30 points to 20, and it can just be something like that, can't it, Louis, to turn your season around when you come into it with expectation, go through a horrible slump, looks like it'll never end, and when it does, all of a sudden there are smiles back at training.
Well, that's what's good about the Origin period sometimes, is that you can be down on your luck. A couple of things go against you. You come up against the side with a few out. You've got a few out. You have to dig deep. It becomes a different week for your preparation. Then all of a sudden you get a great win. And the way that they won, they come from behind. I think that's a really good way for the Bulldogs to sort of build that belief again. But for me, it was pretty simple. Matty Burton, Bronson Sherry, a couple of X factors, Jacob Carraz at fullback, offload, second phase play. They played a little bit of football, and they had a little bit of mongrel in their kick chase and their defence again. So that's a blueprint there for the Bulldogs, but they've got to make sure they do it week in, week out now.
I can see Ralphie and Gibbsy down there like terriers trying to get a word with Jacob Preston after he suffered a broken forearm by the looks of things. This super talented second rower for Canterbury Bankstown, and they've done well. Here's Jacob with you, Jonty.
Yeah, Jacob Preston, bad news, mate. A broken forearm, I believe.
Oh, no, we're not too sure yet. We'll go for scans tomorrow, and fingers crossed it's not too bad.
Jacob, you knew straight away when you got I think you hit your forearm on the knee, so you must have thought, oh no, because so much pressure. I know how committed you are, but you must have thought, oh, this can't be happening.
I can't really remember what happened in the moment, to be honest, but I'm just so stoked the boys managed to get the win tonight, mate. We've had a tough 5-6 weeks, and to get a win and for Rito's debut, it's unreal.
It was a brave effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very brave, mate. The boys dug in tonight, and it's special. They'll enjoy it.
Okay, good luck with those scans.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Jacob Preston down there with John Gibbs, and Gibbsy will now rejoin us back in the broadcast box for the remains of the pre-game show over the next 25 minutes or so. So, valuable victory for Canterbury Bankstown, and that will lift them up to 10 points on the NRL table, and Melbourne will stay on 8, and just at the moment, that's 6 out of the top 8, Louis. There's 15 rounds to go, but, gee, Melbourne still a long way off the pace.
Yeah, I think they're Gormskis.
Well, we thought that kind of 3 weeks ago, didn't we? Then they win 2 in a row to give Melbourne fans some hope, but they're still a long way back. All right, Luke Lewis, John Gibbs, I'm Andrew Moore. Round the grounds just before we get Louis' ABC Player of the Year points in the AFL final quarter. Richmond 67, leading Essendon 53. And third quarter, Freo's hit the front, leading St Kilda. Fremantle 56, St Kilda 51. All right, Lou, what about your ABC Player of the Year points?
Well, I went Matty Burton for 3. I thought he was outstanding for the Bulldogs. His running game's kicking. He was in everything. He was really trying hard. He was getting the ball to Bronson Sherry. So there's no surprise there. I don't think that he Australia was to receive the 3. I went Bronson Sherry for 2. I thought again, just absolute, had a blinder out there tonight. He tore that left side apart with his running game, was breaking tackles at will, and it was just a threat every time he got the ball. And I went Jacob Carraz for 1. I thought he was amazing at fullback, and his second phase play in that second half is what kept the Bulldogs in the game. Got them, a couple of tries early, and then scored a beautiful try right at the end as well. Some, great carry and a really strong performance at fullback in the number 2 jersey, which I haven't seen him play fullback before, but I thought he'd done a great job tonight.
I've seen him play fullback plenty. I don't love him there, but he was outstanding. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, he was brilliant tonight in that fullback role. But he has played a little bit there before. Most normally he's a winger, of course. Stats in the game: Canterbury ended up with 56% of the ball. The ball control from both teams pretty good, especially the Bulldogs. They completed at 84%. That's 36 from their 43 sets. Melbourne had 38 sets and completed 28 of them, or 74%. And Moses Leo, shout out to him on a beaten side, 237 metres, 21 carries, 2 line breaks, 2 tries for the Melbourne winner. Matt Burton playing at 5'8", Lewin, getting you 3 points, ran for 252 metres with a couple of line breaks and 22 tackles, just to highlight the 3 points you've given him. Jethro Rinakama, the winger for Canterbury, on the left wing, 214 metres from 20 carries, couple of line breaks. So some big stats here. Jacob Carraz, 28 carries, Louis, 283 metres, 7 offloads and a line break. That might become his position to stay.
That's huge. Big play. But I think that the weather suited him at fullback tonight.
Right.
I just like the way that he moved. He was strong, but it was his offloads that caused the damage and put the fatigue into that Melbourne outfit. So, yeah, look, he looked great there tonight. And his work ethic is phenomenal.
And Nari Tuala, he ran for 151 metres with an offload, a couple of line breaks. Down the line we go, another 200 metre plus. Suafai Longo, 203 metres, 24 carries, but no line breaks. He took some great catches too. Jack Howe, 154 metres at left centre for Melbourne from 19 carries and 13 tackles. Marcelo Montoya, 145 metres for the Bulldogs. Stefano Utogamano, 145 metres, 31 tackles. And another 200 plus, it was Bronson Sherry. He had 20 carries, Louis, 239 metres and 2 offloads. So Canterbury's outside backs, as those stats alone tell you, apart from what you saw with your eye, had a huge impression on the game, or made a huge impression on the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even look at the stats. My internet's not working, so I couldn't get to have a look at the stats. But technical difficulties. But from eyesight, those 3 guys were amazing. But so were the Bulldogs forwards. They were outstanding. I think Suafai Longo can hold his head up, even though in a losing side. I thought he was brilliant for the Melbourne Storm. I know he didn't do all the highlight things that we're used to seeing him, but he's under the high ball was absolutely brilliant tonight.
Just got some great news, Louis. Canberra having its night tonight where they're inducting members into the Hall of Fame. And I mentioned earlier Jay Hoffman, Canberra's original hooker, father of our own Ryan Hoffman, inducted into the Hall of Fame. Well, it's with great pride and happiness I tell you that Alan Tongue has been inducted into the Canberra Raiders Hall of Fame. My only surprise there, as he wasn't there already, Alan Tongue. Great captain of Canberra, wonderful leader, wonderful lock forward. Probably unlucky not to have played State of Origin for New South Wales, Alan Tongue. He's been great with the ABC since the year after he retired. But I'll always remember about Tungy, Luke, that Matt Elliott, when he was coaching Canberra, Alan was coming off the bench for the Raiders, filling a variety of roles, and it was the senior players that came to Matt and said, mate, you have to pick this guy to start. He might only be small in stature, but he's got a huge heart. We need him out there. He's a leader, and all of that proved true.
Yeah, absolutely. He is an outstanding football player, and he was very, very tough, and he was superior fit. But I remember when Matty Elliott came over to Penrith when he was coaching, but he brought over a fellow by the name of Carl Jennings. He was their strength and conditioning coach. Outstanding strength and conditioning coach. And I remember him saying, I remember having a chat to him, mate, he was the best trainer you've ever dealt with. And he still said to this day, is Alan Tongue and Ruben Wiki.
Yep.
And they were the pinnacle. They were who you wanted to sort of live up to. And I said, explain to me about Alan Tongue. What was it? He goes, mate, he would just turn up and everything was 100 miles an hour. He'd prepare his food. He was always there early. He was always doing extras. He was always doing work after the training. He was just a proper leader. So no surprise at all. thought that he's in the Hall of Fame for the Canberra Raiders.
He's also one hell of a beautiful human being. So well done, Tungy. Couldn't go to anyone better. Very, very happy for you.
Except for when he did do the skin face mask.
Yeah, but now it looks amazing.
Now he looks beautiful.
He really does look beautiful. While we reset and Gibbsy gets himself together, back in the broadcast box, Canterbury 30, Melbourne 20. Earlier we spoke to Tom Flegler, the Queensland State of Origin front rower, and I talked about many things with him, including the fact it must have been a massive moment when he found out he was going to be picked.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't entirely sure whether I was going to get picked or not, but obviously getting a phone call like that from Billy, it's definitely something pretty special, and yeah, I was over the moon when I got the call.
I mean, I'll have to ask you about your 2 years basically out of the game with that shoulder injury, but being named to play Origin, I think you've had 9 games back with the Dolphins this year. Does that almost completely turn the page for you, that I'm not this player just working my way back from injury? I'm back. This is back being my career again.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, some of my first thoughts was after the injury was just to get back and play consistent first grade. But like you touched on now, that I've sort of taken another step again. It's sort of changed things a bit more, and put me back to where I wanted to be.
Last year, Tom, second half of the year, we started to get updates on you, and that looked positive that you were going to come back. When, yeah, we're not too sure, but we were starting to get updates. What was that like, living through it in real time, as in the progress you're making? When were you convinced that you'd be playing at the start of 2026?
Well, I was pretty convinced early on, in the early on stages of the injury, but we had a lot of hurdles to get through before that actually came true. So deep down, I was always confident I was going to play at the beginning of this year. But in saying that, we had other things we had to get through first. But I remain pretty optimistic throughout the whole situation.
One more about this, then we can move on to 2026. But what was one thing that you're grateful for? One thing that maybe in hindsight surprises you, that you're really grateful for during that 2 years that stood out?
Oh, that's a very good question. Probably just how resilient we can be as athletes. There's, like we touched on before, there's a lot of highs and lows, and just coming to training every day and getting to do what we do, you sort of look at that and go, well, there's a lot worse situations off than what I'm in. You know what I mean? It's really not that bad at the end of the day. We still get to go home healthy and come to training every day and be around our mates.
So you get through the pre-season, you're raring to go. One thing, I'm a 57-year-old gibber. I just get to sit and call footy every week, which I love. I can't get my head around, Tom, the psychological hurdle. So you've been out for 2 years. Physically, you might feel great. That first game back, whether it was a trial game or first NRL game back, is that a difficult process to just think, I'm fit, I can get through this now?
I did do it, like you said, I had a whole pre-season to do my contact, so I'd done everything up until playing a game. So, yeah, don't get me wrong, I was very nervous, and there always is that sort of little bit of doubt in the back of your mind, but we ticked every box. Everyone around the club, medical staff, myself, we were all really confident in what we'd done. So leading into that game, there's always that, a little bit of unknown there, but we had no drama. We were fully confident in what we'd done.
So when it comes to Origin, the conversation with Billy Slater, it's not like you're a bolter. You've played Origin before. You've had a few games under your belt before this horrible injury. Is Billy in regular contact with you, or is it that one phone call to say, hey, you're in?
Yeah, just that one phone call to say you're in. It's a very nervous wait come Sunday night.
Yeah, I can imagine. So were your expectations high? I know publicly it'd be, let's just wait and see, but you must have been thinking, come on, I'm ready.
Yeah, obviously, everyone, wouldn't say no if they got given the opportunity, and when the time comes, and you're going to be ready. But at the time, I was not that confident I was going to make the team.
How different are you expecting Origin to be, if at all, Tom, from when you last played? You know how quick the game is at NRL level. What can we expect on Wednesday night, do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously, given the speed of the game now compared to when I last played, it's a lot quicker. So I can only imagine State of Origin is going to be just that little bit quicker again. And obviously, the intensity of it, all the hype around the game, and obviously our feelings towards New South Wales just makes it that little bit more special and intense.
It'd be huge to get a win up in Sydney too, wouldn't it? That always is massive, being able to win away from home in Origin.
Well, 100%. Obviously, it's a big game for both teams, but going down there, game one, and playing them at their home ground to, hopefully we can get the win, which would be massive.
So that was Tom Flegler, who we spoke with earlier today. On the text line, 0467 920 222. Jerry in Bondi went to the second State of Origin game with a guy who died from motor neurone disease, so best wishes to Jai Arrow and his family. Thank you, Jerry. If only Jonty was my maths teacher. Love you all, team. Proud of the boys. A nice variation on the usual credit to the boys. Yeah, we got a credit to the boys from Jed Reardon, and a proud of the boys. Was that from Matt Burton, potentially?
Sherry.
Bronson Sherry, you're quite right. Welcome back, Gibbsy. That was a really good win for Canterbury, wasn't it, considering everything?
It was, and they gave away a start. It was 18-6 at half time, but that Tupinu was scoring early in the second half. That sort of set it up, and they used a lot of their replacements. They had injuries, and they were all over the shop, the Melbourne Storm. So as a result, and Will Warbrick went out there and he had a shocker, but we were told that he was going to be out of the game. So his ribs were that bad, he left the field. He was obviously noodled at half time, and you're running into that contact, Andrew, that's going to have an effect. But he was out there, made the mistakes, and Canterbury did the rest, and all of a sudden they got a bit of their mojo back. And talking about excited Bulldog supporters, on the way up, had a little conversation, Andrew, with Peter Mortimer, one of the famous Mortimers that played for the Bulldogs, and I know that I heard you say earlier you're going to be talking to Chris Louis the Lip Mortimer.
On Sunday, yeah.
So he was most excited, and he had a little cap on, and he looked good, Peter. Still loving life out at Orange.
Just a lovely family, him and Steve Mortimer. It's so sad what he's going through at the moment, Turvey, in assisted care. And Chris Mortimer, the youngest of the Mortimer brothers. He and Peter were great centres. Peter played a grand final as well on the wing and scored a try. And Steve Mortimer, one of the great halfbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I did ask Peter about Turvey, and he said, it's tough.
Yeah. Very much so. On the text line, 0467 920 222. Be fair, the bunker has restrictions. What are the touchies getting paid for? No, that's more than fair, Brendan. Montoya was looking at the ball, not tackling, says Pauline. Cheers, team. Great call as usual. I've jumped from fifth to second at a family tipping comp, listening from Bali. Good on you, Di. Andrew, please don't hold back. Say what you want to say, and I agree with you totally, says Lee in Brisbane. Mark from Campsie says, wow, Maury, dead right with the reffing. So enjoy listening to you guys, Luke and Gibbo as well. Larry says, you reckon the Bulldogs player wasn't trying to catch that? I think he was initially, Marcelo Montoya, but then he crashed into Failongo while he's in the air.
Well, the thing is, we've seen that before, right? So if you go up for the ball, it's fine. But when you change that the reaction from catching the ball to then making a tackle reaction and action, it then becomes.
And he was put in a dangerous position.
Yeah, that's why we're blown up about it, is because we've seen 1,000 of them. That was actually quite dangerous. This is one of the more dangerous ones that I've seen.
Can I reconcile two things that happened towards the end of the game? We had a bomb go up, and Anari Tuala was penalised by, I would assume, the referee for what he thought was an escort. Now, he may have moved marginally, but it was always the base. As soon as you saw it, and the contact was initiated by Will Warbrick. So how does he straight away come up with an escort for that? Then a couple of minutes later, down the other end of the field, we see one where the bloke flies in the air and he gets turned on his head and nothing happens. And 1,000,000%, I didn't want to ask him, but Matt Burton, he knew if he took the tackle, it's like when there's a knock-on, if you run, you know there's a knock-on, you're sneaky, you get tackled just
I reckon you're going to get tackled anyway, though.
No, but he slowed up, he took the tackle. I reckon he knew that if he scored...
But what about the kick one too, where Jerome Hughes just went down off Matty Burton? But then 2 seconds later, it was the exact same kick, the exact same thing.
Push, yeah.
I don't get it.
That the push wasn't even... It wasn't dangerous. I mean, it's got to be dangerous play for them to do something. The one with Failongo, out of all of them, that was dangerous. Yep. Play on.
Agree. I hate blowing up about it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate the constant whinging that we get in this game. But then you see decisions like that. Now, what are we doing? Come on. You've got to make it It's the process. I don't blame the on-field refs normally at all. I don't care if they make mistakes because it's happening at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The game's never been quicker. Players are making mistakes all the time. I get refs making mistakes. Getting the wrong help from the bunker drives me insane. It drives every league fan insane. I don't think they've got the system right and how to deal with decisions. It's not working.
Better feel, Andrew. You know those games that you did in Perth? Remember there's a couple of real bad ones? And as a result of that, there's been a far more sensible adjudication of what Graham Annesley said wasn't used, disruptors, but there are disruptors. It's better now.
Rain returning here at Stadium Australia. Canterbury return to the winners list, their first win